Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Fall of Plaguestone game. I am Lumbee Bronzarm, your DM for this evening, and we would like to introduce our player characters for all of you. So why don't we start off with Alice?
You caught me off guard. I'm usually the last. Hello, I'm Mary, and I'm playing Ugly Alice. She's a witch that is very, very ambitious, and she's planning on becoming the best witch in the world. So yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Fabulous. How about Rex next? Remind us who you are.
I'm Rex Fizzit, and I'm the fastest, toughest gun in all of whatever the place this is called. And south of the border.
Fabulous. Durg.
Durg is figuring out why we're here.
Durg.
Yes. Hi, I'm Jake. I'll be playing Durg, the orc monk. I'm happy to be a part of all of this, and I hope that we have a great game here.
Then I see. Yeah, Eldritch. How about Khan next?
Yeah, I'm Eldritch, and I play Khan, who's our rat folk rogue. And she wants to hunt the biggest monsters in all of the world.
Beautiful. And last but not least, Mr. Abrushter.
Hi there, I'm Homebrew Dice, and I'll be playing Abe. He's a 3-foot gnome who is a wizard, and his goal in life is to learn all there is to know about magic, and he is hoping that this endeavor will push him towards that.
He is a proper gnomish gentleman.
Absolutely.
Last time, we began our adventure in the first session of this game. Our adventuring party had gotten onto a caravan with one dwarf merchant named Bort Bargeth, a well-kept, well-groomed dwarf who always had a bit of an exaggerated story to tell at any given time. Traveling into the town of Etrin's Folly, south from the Five Kings Range through the Andoran Mountain Pass, the caravan met with a very easy trip for most of it, but nearing Etrin's Folly, they were attacked by a pack of mangy wolves, the alpha of which was a disgusting, putrid, acid-spewing, rotting wolf. With the help of the 5 adventurers, they did dispatch these wolves, not without taking a bit of damage and getting the wagon stuck in the mud. But, however, the infinitely strong Rex Fezzik managed to lift the wagon out of the mud, or so he believes. Getting it back on the road, the entire caravan eventually did make its way fully into Etrin's Folly, the town occasionally known as Plaguestone. Pulling into the main tavern in town, the Feed Mill, everyone was enjoying a nice round of turnip stew, turnip ale, and then, unfortunately, one of the farmers slipped and dropped his drink on another one of the bar patrons, and a bar brawl broke out. The adventurers managed to not injure a single person within the bar, but managed to stop the bar brawl when Rex took out his gun, made the loudest shot any of these people had ever heard, and told them to quiet down. After the tumult cooled off a little bit, dessert was served, which was a nice warm turnip potage pudding, during which Bort was regaling everyone with another of his tales of travel and adventure, when he began to choke, cough, turn purple, and wheeze. The party was not sure what to do, but it appears that Alice, with her amazing alchemical knowledge, recognized that Bort was poisoned with what is called the Violet Breath, a particularly virulent and deadly poison. The party and the sheriff in town rushed the Bort over to the apothecary, hoping to find some kind of a cure, get a healing antidote for Bort, but it soon became clear to everyone that Bort was experiencing not only excruciating pain, but was basically on death's door. Not wanting to watch Bort, his employer, suffer, Rex took out his knife and slit the dwarf's throat to ease his pass. That was where we left off last time, and where we begin tonight. Rolf, the town sheriff, a man clearly not used to this level of crime, is standing in the room of the apothecary next to Trin with all of you, looking down at the dead body of one Bort Bargeth. Purple, swollen, bit of foam in near the mouth, with a slit across the neck that was done in one clean motion. Rolf looks to all of you and says, "This was an awful thing that happened, but..." And looking at Rex, he says, I do believe that was a mercy you just did. However, there's been a horrible crime done in this town. Bort is a well-known patron here. He's come through this town many times for many years. And truth be told, we in this town, we are not used to this kind of crime. The worst I have to deal with is children tipping over cows. Occasionally, the ruffians at the bar get a little too drunk and rowdy, and they mess around with Finnick. But we ain't had a murder here in Etron's Folly in 25 years, 30 years. Now, because we're such a small hamlet, we don't got an actual official law in this town. I'm about the closest there is to an official law, and I'm just the mayor's nephew. However, we do, every month, have a traveling judge who comes through town. He acts as our law and decides on any kind of court that needs to be done, when justice needs to be served. He is not due back for at least another month. The circuit judge, Mubbage Cranberry, he does justice, he follows the laws of our land, but he will not be here for another month. Now, since we do not have a jail here in Etron's Folly, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask all of y'all and all of y'all compatriots in the caravan to not leave town until Mr. Cranberry gets here and can figure out what happened with Bort. Now, obviously, I'm not going to ask y'all to not leave the feed mill. That would be unrealistic. However, I do need to insist that none of y'all be able to leave town. This might not be ideal for all of y'all. I recognize that you have business to attend to. You are in a merchant caravan, therefore you likely need to get on with your business. However, the law is the law. Now, having said that, I recognize that none of y'all knew Bort. You just bought your way onto this caravan. So none of y'all have anything to gain from Bort's death. So I don't suspect any of y'all poisoned Mr. Bargeth. Now, I think all of us here recognize that our little green friend here is the one who ultimately pushed Bort into his passing. However, I also feel we can agree that that was the best choice any of y'all could have made. You did him a service and a mercy. Now, I do need to question the rest of the people in y'all's caravan. So if we could, let's please just go get them, round them up. We'll meet everybody back at the stables, and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this here. Now, again, please don't leave town. And Rolf turns around and walks out of the apothecary to go back to the feed mill.
And before we continue, we should do the disclaimer real fast.
Yes, please.
Forgot about that.
I forgot to, yes, thank you.
I remembered, but you were doing such a good job describing. I didn't want to.
I was monologuing, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you either. So
I appreciate it, but yeah. You caught me monologuing!
I'm gonna go do it now. The following presentation may and most likely will contain strong adult language, graphic descriptions of excessive violence, possibly sexual themes. Jesus. Eyes, and other scary stuff, which may be disturbing for some audience, so please viewer discretion is advised. Thank you.
Other sexual as well. Okay then.
Ooh. Sexual. Okay, so yes, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I had completely forgotten about the disclaimer. We'll try to do that a little earlier next time. That was a little gruesome of an introduction, so if any children are watching, I apologize. Yes, so Rolf has now left the apothecary. And, before he leaves the apothecary, I apologize. He does tell all of you, now I think we need to take Bort here, and we need to get him out of sight. We don't want the townsfolk to be looking at a murder victim in here. So and he looks over to Durg and says, you good sir, what's your name, sir?
You speak to Durg?
Yeah, you the large fellow, the orc fellow. What's your name, sir?
Yeah. So,
Durg.
Durg, yes.
Oh, good to meet you, Doug. You look mighty hardy and strong. You mind helping me heft this up a little bit? Do any of y'all have a...
Where
No,
we
no, no,
move
no!
her.
Don't worry about him. He's not strong enough. I'll take care of it. And I'll walk over and I'll try to like, and shove him onto my shoulder.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
All right, let's.
I'm into it. You could always roll a nat 20.
I could.
Do it. Oh
It's not a
man.
nat 20, but it is an 11.
It's not quite enough to... You manage to get... you get his arm around your shoulder, but it's not enough to, lift him up.
He's bulky. He's got like lots of curves and weird places.
Well, dwarves do tend to be a little bit hardy and thick, as they say. And he kind of looks back up to Durg and motions with his head down to the feet of Bort to see if you could pick it up.
Yeah, I'll lend a hand.
Okay, throw me an athletics check, please.
Okay. There you are. Hey.
Fantastic. All right. Durg reaches down to the ankles of Bort and without any issue hoists them straight up off of the table. However, Rex, who was looking forward with trying to pull Bort over him, does not see Durg behind him lifting up the feet. So, Rex, you lift up Bort completely by yourself and hoist him over your shoulder and begin stepping forward.
There we go. There we go. Got him. Just need to get the right angle. That's all.
Rolf looks down at you. He looks at Durg and he says, "Oh, all right, yeah, good job there, son. Good job. Now, let's get here. Let's take him and get him down into the cellar underneath the feed mill. It's really cool down there. That's where they keep all of their drinks and all their meats. It'll serve as a morgue, I suppose, until we can figure out what's going on here."
Oh yeah,
And
good
so-
idea. And then we can make sure that we cut him up, and then make sure that we eat him before he goes bad, because I don't want him to spoil.
Rolf kind of stops, looks back at all of you, looks down at the goblin, looks up at the rest of you to kind of gauge what faces you're making at that.
Dirge nods.
And he just kind of...
Con looks gently concerned.
Okay, so he just sort of gives a... Goblins. And then heads in front of Rex back to the feed mill. And he opens up the side cellar and motions you down.
I'll take him down.
All right, place him down on the table there in the middle. And when y'all put him in there, please just meet us up at the stable here. I'll go get the rest of y'all's caravan. I'll meet you here in just a few minutes. And Rolf walks off.
At this point, I would like to start making my way back to the tavern, where the last meal was had, if you like.
Fantastic. Okay. You are actually right outside in the alleyway next to the feed mill, the tavern. So you can very, very quickly and easily go inside. It's mostly been... Rolf is actually in there. He's speaking with Ulf and Ulf, the two teamsters who are on your caravan team. And he seems to be speaking to one of the farmers you've not met. Delma is behind the bar. And she's the only one you see in the front. They're the only four you see inside the front.
Okay. I'll go up to the bar and I'll ask the barmaid, excuse me, nice to see you again.
Hey there, sugar. How you doing? You holding up all right?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you for asking. Listen, the dwarf that was in here, who was eating and having a very lovely meal by the looks of things.
Boy, yeah, he's in here all the time.
It looks like he may have been poisoned by the food that he consumed. I was wondering if it wouldn't be too much trouble for me to come behind to the kitchens to have a quick look around and see if there's anything that I can see.
Well, I suppose that'd be all right. Let me make sure it's all right with Rolf first. Hey, Rolf, honey.
Yes, Delma?
This one here is asking about Bort. He's asking if you can see in the kitchen. Would that be all right with y'all?
Well, that's fine with me, Delma. This one here and his 4 other compatriots, they are not on my on my list of suspects as of yet. And he kind of looks at you, Abe, and his eyes narrow a little bit because you think he thinks he figures something out for just a second, but then he thinks the better of it, and he drops the kind of squint. So then Delma looks at you and says, "Oh, all right, come in. Yeah, you can come on into the kitchen. Let's see what you think."
Before I head in, could I roll a check to see if any of those two are being shifty at all? Like, see
Absolutely.
if they're slightly nervous or anything? What do you need me to roll?
Perception check in the dice tower, please.
Not a problem.
And you're talking about Delma and Rolf, the sheriff and the barman.
Correct. I'm trying to see if there's anything that could look untoward, or if they're nervous about me asking, or if there's anything like that.
Sure. Delma seems legitimately horrified. She's never seen a murder. That much is clear. You can see that in her eyes. She's terrified, confused, and does not seem to have any idea what's going on, but cherishes the idea of someone figuring it out. Rolf seems like he's trying his best. He's a man doing his absolute best who is in far over his head. But neither of them give you any suspicion that they are hiding anything.
Okay, I'll head into the kitchens, and then other people can do what they want to do before we carry on with that.
All right. See here. So give me a perception check. So go ahead and give me another perception check in the dice tower.
No problem.
When you walk into the kitchen, it contains all kinds of cooking utensils needed to operate the feed mill. Skillets, knives, mortar and a pestle, roasting spits, a sieve, butter churner. Of particular note, there is a large kettle on the center of the counter that was used to cook the turnip porridge. And it's next to Bort's large bowl. And seeing you spot it, Delma looks to you and says, "Oh, well, after everything, when Bort was taken out of here, I thought it might be best to take his bowl here and set it aside to make sure nobody washes it. That's it there. It's only been touched to move it from the table to back here in the kitchen."
Thank you, Dharma. I do appreciate your assistance with the matter.
Of course, sugar. Anything you need. And she doesn't go back out to the front, but she kind of walks over to a corner and starts to clean and tidy a little bit.
Okay. I've got a few ideas on what I want to do in here, but I'll let other people do what they need to do first.
So we can jump back to the other four. You are all in the cellar, correct? Is that right? Or is it just two of you with Bort? Okay. So you walk down in the cellar. There's a number of large casks of ale, a few dusty bottles of wine, and as you placed the body of Bort Bargeth on a table in the center. It's quite chilly down here because it is a root cellar, specifically to house the wine and all kinds of the raw materials, the raw foods for the feed mill. So you may look around if you would like. If you would like to give me a perception check, you may.
Okay.
In dice tower, please. Okay. Rex, your goblin nose picks up something. Something smells weird. It's kind of sweet, flowery. I don't know.
I smell a smell. A smelly smell. A smelly smell that smells smelly.
I look for the source of it.
Okay. Give me one more. Well, just name off what are the things you are looking at. Where do you go? What do you do?
So you said it smells like flowers, right?
That's right.
Well, I'm just gonna look around the general room and see if I see anything colorful and flowery, and then if I don't see anything like that, I'm gonna just start opening up bags. If there's bags, and just looking inside, and if there's barrels or boxes, I'll look inside those next.
Okay. I'll tell you straight off, you do not see anything obviously that looks like a flower. Nothing too colorful. This is a fairly low socioeconomic type town, so having things like flowers around might not be too easy to get. So you do see a lot of casks, a lot of sacks, spice cabinets, things of that nature.
I'll start looking into the spice cabinets first, then, because the spice
Okay.
cabinets would ring as something like smelly.
Yeah, fair. So you do see things like coriander, cumin, nutmeg, the usuals. Go ahead and give me another perception check in the dice tower.
Okay. Perception. I just take the spice, stick it to my nose, sniff it. That's not it. Throw it over my shoulder. Go to the next one.
I normally don't do this, but I'll give you a little time peek behind the DM screen. You just rolled a nat 20. So,
Yeah.
yes, you do that exact thing. Rex, you pull down each spice individually, give it a big long sniff. That's not it. Toss it. Not it either. Toss it. And you go through each and every one of these spices, and absolutely none of them smell anything like that strange sweetness you were smelling a moment ago.
Your Rex impression is flawless.
Thank you. I like being a mimic. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, if it's not the spices, I'll start looking in boxes and crates, and I'll go,
Derek, there's a smell. I smell it. It smells flowery.
It does?
Yeah, you don't smell it?
I'll make a perception check to see if I do.
Sure. Yeah. Check in the dice tower.
All right. Yeet.
Once he mentions it, you give a long sniff in the air, and yeah, something is kind of sweet. It's off. It's different. You're not sure what it is. But now that he mentions it, yeah. So going back to Rex, you said you were checking the boxes and the grain sacks and all that.
yeah.
Well, the sacks of grain are exactly that. They're just grain sacks, just rye, wheat, things of that nature. The boxes are mostly boxes of things like dishes, cookware, extra utensils, things of that sort. So it's starting to look like you're not quite sure where this is coming from yet.
I gotta go to Alice. I'm sure she can find it or tell me what it is. She's good at knowing things about stuff. I think.
Okay. I think her and Con are just up the cellar, correct? Just in the alley? Yeah. Okay. So you run out of the cellar, and Alice and Connor standing there in the alleyway. What do you tell them?
Alice, there's a smell. It's down there. I don't know what it smells like, but it smells kind of flowery. Can you come find it with me?
Sure. Just quickly, while they were like going different directions investigating, I would have tried to see what I know or what I can remember or find about this poison and basically try to do the forensic work. I don't know if I would like have some books that I carry with me, but I'm a self-taught witch and I like pretty much read stuff from books, or I can just like try to search my memory.
Yeah, give me let me think. Do you have craft alchemy as a skill, or crafting even?
I do have crafting.
Okay, give me either crafting or arcana, whichever you want. In the dice tower, please.
I need to move my sheet. Messing up the stream. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We're all learning. Ooh, speaking of.
No, there's just only enough space on my screen that my sheet always has to be on top of the dice tower, not to be visible in the stream.
Okay. Let me see here. So you rolled that, which means okay. So Alice, sorry, hearing a thing. Alice, you know about the violet breath that the name is actually kind of a misnomer. It's actually a red flower. It's not actually violet in color. In addition to that, you know that it has to be eaten whole. If you do anything like crush it or muddle it, it actually breaks up the poison. You're fairly certain of both of those facts.
Okay, and as she like stands there, looks up and searches her memory. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yes, indeed. What were you saying, Rex?
What's interesting?
I was thinking about this poison, and I seem to remember I read in one of the books that it's actually a red flower, and you cannot do anything with it. You cannot process it in any way if you want to poison someone with it. So he had to eat a flower, not processed, and it was red.
Wow, you're like a really smart person. How do you know all this stuff? I don't know nothing except for this.
And he pulls his gun out and like looks at it.
Can you please not point that at me? Whatever it's this fire shooting
Oh yeah,
wand. I don't want you to do something. Just never point wands at people.
it's called Betty.
Um. Well, hello, Betty. Yes, this is the first lesson in wand wielding that you're not supposed to point them at people if you don't want to hurt them.
Okay, yeah, I normally point them at bad people, so I guess you're right. I shouldn't do that. But
What is
can you
Khan
help
thinking
me?
at this moment? Let's cut over to Khan. What are you doing right now?
Smash cut to Khan. I
Yeah.
think that she's trying to take mental note of she's trying to like narrow down a list of subjects. She doesn't know anyone personally here, but she's trying to think who could have been there at the same time, at the same place. I don't think.
Okay. Oh, did we lose her? Oh, we lost her.
We
Dang
lost her.
it. Okay, so gonna cut back into the basement real quick. So in the cellar, Rex and Alice are coming down the stairs. Durg. So so Rex and Alice, you can go ahead and do what you want here in the cellar.
I think she's back.
Yeah, I see her.
She's just going to finish loading up here. I was just
Yeah,
going to
no.
add on. Dirge was going to start searching through boxes and stuff.
Okay, great. Hey, Con, you're back. Durg, give me a perception check in the dice tower. Con,
All right.
give me either a society check or a straight intelligence check in the dice tower. I'll do both at once. Okay, Durg, you're able to wrench open a couple of these boxes, and same thing with Rex. Wait, did I call you Durg? Durg. Same thing as Rex. You wrench open a couple of these boxes, and it's really just things that you would totally expect an inn to have: new glasses, replacement silverware, sausage casings, old bottles, things of that nature. Nothing that seems out of the ordinary. And Khan, as you said, you're pretty much new to this town. You've only been here a couple of hours. You really don't know anyone here except who you've explicitly met. However, you do remember that Ulf and Ulf were in the tavern the entire time, and the one thing you do specifically remember is that outside of the bar brawl, they were sitting at the bar the entire evening with one farmer having drinks. They never got up from their seat even once, except for that 20 seconds of a fight. That's all you remember. All right, cutting down to the cellar. Rex and Alice, you have gone down the stairs, down into there. You are free to look around.
So there's like a smell. It kind of smelled like flowers, and I didn't know what it was. So I started looking for it because it sounded kind of suspicious. Because I was like, "Well, there's a smell down here, and I've never smelled it before, and maybe it's tied to what happened, but I don't know." Can you help?
Where he said,
Alice, go ahead and roll a perception check in the tower. Comes. You do smell it. I'm not sure at all what it is. But it seems a little familiar. Give me an intelligence check, Alice. Again, dice tower. you think for a second because you just barely catch the whiff of this with your human nose. The goblin over here, he's got quite the excellent sniffer. So you have to kind of wander around the room for a little while. You're thinking, you're smelling, you're walking, and then you remember. This is the violet breath. This is that poison. That's what that smell is. You remember that violet breath comes from a flower. But where is it in this room? You're not sure.
Yes! I can definitely smell it. I recognize that I'm in many potions. I know I'm just a novice, but some would call me an expert. I'm very close to getting that golden cauldron reward. Thank you very much. It is here. We just need to find it.
Oh, wow. I knew it was something important. We just gotta find it. Alright. Time to tear this place apart.
And he's gonna start like grabbing things and opening them and like shoving them over and just digging through stuff.
Dirk's just
again.
a bunch of shit.
There is a chance.
Again,
though.
you're finding mainly pots and pans, forks, knives, goblets, sausage casings, spices.
There is a chance.
There is one thing left in the room that you didn't look at. The newest thing in the room.
What are you saying, Alice?
What's the newest thing in the room? Am I the newest
The
thing
body.
in the room? Okay. Well,
So do you check Bort?
what I was gonna say that there is a chance that the smell just lingers on in the air cause it was here and that's why we cannot find the flower.
Oh, you're probably
That could
right.
be. That could be.
Drops cabinet.
It shatters.
Kicks the box that I'm standing next to.
It does not shatter.
Mm.
Did anyone actually ever search the body?
Nope.
No, I didn't. Oh, that's a good idea. Wow.
Okay, I'll search it. And I'll start digging through his pockets and his stuff
Okay.
and like.
Give me another perception in the tower.
Okay.
You don't find anything. He's got nothing on him. He's clearly not wanting people to steal from him. He must keep all of his stuff back in the wagons.
There's nothing here.
However, as you're rifling through his pockets, you do realize that the floral smell is significantly stronger when standing over Bort.
I sniff his mouth.
It's coming from his mouth.
Oh, it's coming from here.
Yes, you were smelling the lingering poison coming off of the body of Bort.
I'm sorry. I made a mistake. It's come from his mouth.
All right. Let's cut back to Abe. Abe Brushter back in the kitchen. I think that's a great spot to jump.
Great.
So what were you doing? Delma pointed out the bowl, telling you that no one has washed it, and the large kettle that cooked the porridge is also sitting on the counter next to it.
Yeah, so I'm at this point assuming that the food that Poison bought came out of that pot.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to approach and look for any differences between the bowl of porridge and the pot, and see if there's any colour differences or anything that I can just determine that would indicate whether it was cooked into the entire pot or whether it was slipped into the food on its way to Bort.
All right, great. Give me a perception check in the tower, please. Okay, Abe, looking into the pot, you look, you take a big smell. It smells like turnip porridge. It smells sweet, good. You pick up Bort's bowl, you give it a big whiff. It's floral, sweet, kind of sickly a little bit. So there's clearly the smell difference. But looking with your keen gnomish eyes, you do see just the slightest tinge of speckles of red in Bort's bowl that you do not see in the large kettle.
In
Did I say what color did I just say?
red.
Purple. My apologies. Purple flecks in the bowl.
Okay.
Purple flecks.
Upon noticing that, I would like to have a look around and see if I can notice any purple ingredients that could match up to that. Obviously not ingredients as in regular ingredients, but if there's anything, I think it's a long shot being in a kitchen, and I think it is sabotage from somebody who had a hand in the cooking, whether it's the serving or the actual making of the dish or whatever. But I'd like to just have a look around and see if I can see any purple ingredients knocking around.
All right, fantastic. Another perception, please. Now, you give the kitchen once over, twice, 3 times. You climb up on the counters because you're small. You look under the kitchen cabinet, or under the tables, under the counters. You don't see anything that's really purple. In this kind of area, purple it's not a common color. It's not a color you really see that much. So you're fairly confident that something this purple, the purple that you're seeing in this bowl, if there were a large amount of that same color in this kitchen, you're fairly confident you would have spotted it.
Okay, in which case I'm going to turn around to head out and find the others, but before I do, I'm going to cast message to Alice, sorry, and it will be to the effect of, I'm on my way back to you. I've had a look around the kitchen, and there is quite an obvious difference between Bort's porridge and the big pot that it was cooked in, but I can't find any ingredients that would match the difference. I'll see you in a few. And I'll then leave and head back round.
Okay, let's jump up to Con. Con, did you join the others in the cellar, or did you go anywhere? What is she doing at the moment?
I think she's trying to stay with everyone else so she doesn't get separated.
Okay, so she's down in the cellar with the other 3? Okay, great. So you 3, Alice, you get that message from Abe telling you that there's clearly some foul play going on with Bort, but a short moment later, because the cellar is just around the outside of the feed mill, Abe, you were able to join them in relatively quick. Sorry, I have a bit of a stutter. You're able to join them relatively quickly.
Perfect.
Okay. At this point, you hear from the outside the voice of Rolf saying, "All right, if y'all could come up here, please. I think I've found just about everybody I need to speak to. That is, if y'all are done taking a look down here in the cellar."
I just have one question about the flower.
Yeah, what is it, ma'am?
Out of character.
Yeah, sure.
Knowing this much about it, would I know roughly what size are the flowers? Like, because poisons usually, they try to be undetectable. How undetectable is this flower? Is it a tiny flower or like a big flower that you need to be very aware that you're eating a flower?
Do a crafting check in the tower again, please.
Okay.
Sorry for all the secret checks tonight.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
But it's one of those things where, like, if you roll a nat 20, you rolled a nat 20. So you know that whatever I tell you is real, and if you roll a nat 1, you know that whatever I tell you is crap. So it kind of helps with that. So that was your crafting check. You think you remember from your readings on the violet breath that their flowers about the size of that probably doesn't help. About this big. I was going to say about the size of an American quarter, but I forgot you're in Poland. So about yay.
Actually, before you give me the information, I think you should be very aware of the fact that I have a skill called Dubious Knowledge.
Oh, what is that? Uh-huh. I don't remember what that does. I've heard of it.
You're a treasure trove of information, but not all of it comes from reputable sources. When you fail a recall knowledge check using any skill, you learn a bit of true knowledge and a bit of erroneous knowledge, but you don't have any way to differentiate which is which. So, yeah.
Good to know for next time. So Okay, well, all right. So you have the good one, I guess. Out of character, you know that the flowers are about yay big. But you're fairly certain you also remember that they grow in very high northern latitudes, like up near the realm of the Mammoth Lords.
Oh, remember that. That's only if she fails, though. By the way.
Oh, that's only if she fails? Oh, well then ignore that
Yeah,
second part, because that was obviously a lie.
That's only if she fails the check. She gets like half of it true, and then half of it is just like whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm glad to know that for next time. But so ignore all of that. You know they're this big. That's what you know.
And how far away is this place where it grows? Would it like survive?
Well, since I didn't know about that whole skill you have, I'll just tell you, you passed the check, so you know that part is true about the flower. The thing I said about where they grow, that was a lie, because I thought that he was saying that I had to give you one of both every time.
Okay.
So that one, I'm just mulliganing that one. The thing about the realm of the Mammoth Lords, that was a complete lie.
Okay, cool.
All right. All right, so Rolf motions everyone over to the stables, and you can see that Tamley, Ulf, and Ulf are there. There's a few farmers and Delma, and if anyone would want to give me a perception check in the dice tower to see who all they see.
Sure, I'll jump in.
Like to remember all who you saw during the night.
So as I walk up with my hand on my gun, kind of like resting it there, I go, "There's been a murder. I'm sure one of you here is behind it, and I won't rest until I get to the bottom of it. I'm going to look at each and every one of you as the criminal until I find out otherwise. None of you are supposed to leave the town."
Rolf looks at you and says, "Well, now, we can't be rushing to judgment so quick. None of us is Mr. Mubbage Cranberry, after all. We need to wait until our circuit judge comes in, or we find evidence that points to one specific person." Now, as far as those perception checks go, that's interesting. Okay. Abe and Rex, due to the fact that you are as small as you are, both of you immediately notice that Finnick the Goblin is not here.
Wait a second! There's one of us missing! The smallest one amongst us.
The other goblin that was around, he's not here at the moment. Anybody seen him?
Delma and Rolf start looking around, and Rolf says, well, I'll be damned. It looks like Finnick did fuck off, that little bastard. And Delma speaks up, and she says, that's not too uncommon. See, Finnick, he's small, and around these parts, some of the farmers, when they get a little drunk, they like to pick on him, beat him up. He takes a chair or an empty mug to the head quite often, even if it's on accident. The last several months or so, anytime any violence has broken out, Finnick has just ran at the first sign of a brawl. It doesn't surprise me at all that he ran off. I'm sure we could find him. He has a few hiding spots around town we could look, but no one's real sure where every one of them is.
Or he's the killer, and he's hiding because he did it.
You calm down there, Sheriff Fezzik, right? We need to get to the bottom of this rationally.
You're right.
Well, now let's talk about
accusations out like that.
That's right. That's the rational thinking we need in this kind of investigation. Now, as I said earlier, none of y'all five had anything to gain from the death of Bort Bargeth. You were just on his caravan going from north to south, A to B. Now, all of y'all, and Rolf looks over at the rest of the caravan that had come with you, says, each one of y'all worked for Mr. Bargeth, and his considerable wealth could potentially fall into your hands if he were to come to an untimely passing. Now, but I want to give everybody a chance to see what if they can prove their innocence. Now, where were all of you just an hour ago before Mr. Bargeth died? And he looks at the rest of the caravan. Tamley, the orc woman, second in command of Bort, steps forward and she says, It was over at the feed mill. No, not over at the feed mill. We were over near the stables taking care of the horses for the caravan. And then Ulf and Ulf both say, "Well, we were in the tavern, in the feed mill. We were with this man over here, Farmer. What was your name again?" And the man looks and says, "Elam, Farmer Elam." "Yes, we were drinking with Elam at the bar. We didn't leave the entire night. Even after the fight, we just stayed and drank."
That's a likely story.
Is there any way to insight them? Or...
Yes, that's perception, I think. Go ahead and throw that in the tower again. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to do that as well.
Go for it. You're not getting a great read on these guys. You don't know them too well. Plus, they kind of have that thing where their English or their common isn't as good as you might expect it to be. So, picking up inferences and subtleties in what they're saying is a little bit difficult.
Foreigners.
Okay.
Then let me see here. Sorry, I'm checking my notes really fast. Then Rolf looks to the rest of the people in the crowd who were at the bar the entire time. He notes that Farmer Elam was there, he backs up the claims of Ulf and Wolf that he was at the bar the entire evening. Delma as well backs up the story of these three, that they were at the bar the entire night. All of you, as far as you noticed, realized that Delma was also there the entire night, except for the very small chunk of time during which the bar brawl broke out when she ran to get Rolf. That's one thing you noticed.
And she's the barmaid, correct?
That's correct. Delma's the barmaid. She's the one who ran off to get Rolf, the sheriff, when the bar brawl broke out.
Is she the one that also does the cooking in the back? And the
No.
serving?
No,
Okay.
I forgot to mention her. That is Amora, and she... I don't think I specified this. Amora is the one who was talking to Abe in the kitchen, not Delma. That's my bad. I don't think I said that.
Okay.
So yes, Delma's the barkeep. Amora is the cook. But Amora is there with you. She's an elderly human woman.
So just to clarify, my previous perception check, sort of to insight, it was Delma that I was inciting, right? Who was genuinely horrified by the murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Delma.
Okay. Fine.
The
Thank you.
barkeep, yes.
I would like to sniff each one of your hands individually.
Rolf kind of looks at you quizzically and he says, "Well, now that's a strange request. Why, what could that have to do with anything?"
Well, you see, my dear sheriff, as you would soon discover, this plant has a unique scent, and my nose is keen. And I smelled it on the breath. Well, not the breath, because he's dead, but on his mouth of the dead man.
Sorry, that was funny. Rolf says, "Oh, now that's actually quite a good point. Some poisons can be quite pungent. Now, y'all, no, I think that's a good idea. Everybody hold out your hands, myself included." And he even holds out his own hands to go first.
And I'll sniff his hands.
Okay, I'll let you roll one perception check over for everybody. So just give me one in the tower.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you roll 15 perception checks.
I hope the one
You
was
do
good.
not smell. You don't get even the tiniest whiff of that smell on the hands of anyone who is currently present.
Alright. I sniff my own hands.
You also do not smell it on yourself.
I sniff everyone else's hands that are in the party.
You do not smell it on any of them. And I think Rolf looks to you, Rex, and says, "Now, I don't mean to be a suspicious Nancy. However, I feel it would be in the spirit of fairness for you to allow someone else to sniff your hands, good sir."
Oh, sure.
And he holds his hands out.
Okay. And a couple of the locals, Rolf and Delma, they give your hands a good sniff, and they say, "All right. I think everybody here seems to have not handled the poison, or at the very least, washed their hands. Now, that's at least good to know that we didn't readily find any murderer here amongst us."
At least
Now-
they're a smart murderer if they are a murderer.
When Flunk, the terrible bard, also mentions to the sheriff that he was there all night as well, playing next to the hearth. Didn't leave the tavern. Sorry, I'm just kind of roll through the more minor characters here. And the drunken soldier that you met, Sir Lauren, the one who accidentally started the bar fight, is also present, but is looking eager to leave. He seems ready to go.
And the bard, do I remember him playing all night?
Give me an intelligence check, just to see if you remember.
Okay.
You remember that Flunk was playing and being kind of booed and jeered near the beginning of the night. When the bar fight broke out, he jumped up onto a chair and started wildly playing like crazy. Then you stopped the fight about 10 seconds later, and he looked very disappointed, but sullenly went back to playing for the rest of the evening. You do remember that he was there.
That's right. I do remember that part.
For those 10 seconds, he had an epic light show behind him as well.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You gave him the strobes behind him.
Damn straight I did.
That was probably the best 10 seconds of Flunk's life, honestly.
I do remember that now.
So, let's see here. Rolf. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So, Rolf says, I think at this point we need to question some of the other people possibly near here in town. Who's the other? Okay. I'm sorry, I need to retcon something. Amora, the cook, is not there. So, Abe, it was Delma the entire time you were talking to. That is
okay.
my mistake. So,
no problem.
The entire thing, you were only talking to Delma. But Rolf says, I think somebody should probably speak to Amora, the cook. She's probably past her wit's end at this point. That little old lady can't handle much more stress. I, however, am going to see if I can find Finnick. Do y'all think y'all could handle going up a little bit north out of town, talking to either Amora, or find yourself... Let's see, who's that? Sorry. No, that's it. Okay. Yes, so if y'all could just question a few people around town, I truly would appreciate it. And we can meet back in a day or so, compare our notes, and see what we find. Hopefully we can get some kind of some clues, and we can put together this here puzzle.
So do you want us to question Amora or not?
I think so. Y'all can pick. We need to talk to Amora up at the old orchard up north out of town. I believe Delma, I have not had a chance to speak with her in length.
So does that mean that you're allowing us to leave town now?
Just to the edge of the orchard. That's still within the town proper.
Okay.
And if y'all happen to catch Finnick, y'all be sure to give him a talking to or send him my way. I would very much like to speak to that goblin.
I'm sure Rex will keep an eye out for him.
Thank y'all kindly. And with that, Rolf begins to walk away, and Tamley,
Before
the orc,
leaves,
seconding. Yes, go for
did
it.
anyone see red flowers? And I'm gonna try to quickly look between everyone to see if anyone tenses out during that.
Okay, give me a perception check on the dice tower then.
Yeah,
You're too lazy eyes. Go for it.
That as well.
Okay. Okay. You look around and everyone just seems confused by that. And you even happen to hear Flonk leaning over to one of the farmers and says, "Didn't they say it was violet?"
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about, right?
I look confused too because I thought they were violet.
Okay. So yes, after Rolf takes off and the farmers start to disperse a little bit, Tamley, the orc, the second in command of Bort, I keep saying command. That's like they're a military. Rolf's right-hand orc comes up to you and says, to the five of you and Ulf, and says, I think we
should probably take care of Bort. It seems like we should probably pay our respects, don't you think? And it would be proper, considering he was not only our employer but a friend. We really appreciate if all of you would join us.
Alright, but no touching the crime scene.
It would be an honor.
We appreciate that. All right, Oof, come on. Let's go.
Just
we go
before we
down-
continue,
Hmm?
sorry. Just before we continue, I'm just going to take a look at Con. Connie, are you still looking like absolute shit at the moment?
I forgot about that. Yes, Con looks bad.
I think Khan is having connection problems.
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
But yes, she is quite badly injured still. But there you are.
There we go.
Okay,
You're
cool.
better.
Yes, I have 1 hit point and a sad computer. Anyways,
Okay. I feel like we should do something about that, but I don't know.
It's more than enough time has passed. You could do another medicine check on her. It's been over an hour.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll just roll it.
Finally, you don't have to do a secret check.
Wow, Alice, you did a really great job trying to trick them into convincing them that it was a red flower instead of a purple flower.
That is a success there, Abe, just barely. So go ahead and roll 2d8. Okay, so Alice, you get 5 hit points back. Do you know how to do that in Fantasy Grounds, or do you want me to do it for you?
Con, not Alice.
Oh, sorry, Con. Yes, Con. You get 5 hit points back. Do you know how to do that in Fantasy Grounds?
I can figure it out, I think.
Just go to your front page where it's on the main tab. At the very bottom left, you see where it says Wounds 15. Click the 15 and type 10. You're going to be removing wounds. In Fantasy Grounds, you don't add hit points, you remove wounds. Okay? Yeah, so now you're right. Now you're at 6 hit points. Okay, so you patch up Con a little bit. You kind of pop that shoulder back into place. Starting to look a little better, but still not great. Could use a good night's sleep. So, Tamley, Wolf go down the cellar, and Bort's body, they're stunned and taken aback for a moment, seeing how swollen and purple and veiny and all of the drool that's caked and drying on the side of his mouth. This was not the way any of them had ever wanted to see their employer and friend. Tamley walks over to him. She's mostly quiet, but after she looks at him, she brushes his hair back behind his ear, puts one of his braids, his beard braids that had fallen behind his shoulder, picks it up and places it on his chest. And she says, Bort was more than just a merchant, more than just a boss. He was my friend. We won't leave here until we've found out who did this. Rolt's a fool, and I'd be an even greater fool if I thought I could get to the bottom of this. Fixing wagons, moving goods, that's my job. But you, and she points to all 5 of you, you might be able to figure out who killed Bort and get justice for him. Justice for all of us. She's holding back tears as she's saying all of this. For all of us. Will you help us figure out who did this to Bort? Please help us. And she immediately begins to sob and falls to her knees. Ulf and Wolf run over and try to attempt to console her. It's okay, Tamley. We got it. We are here for you. We will not. We'll make sure. Yes, we
Yeah, we'll make sure that the killer gets caught and then gets what's coming to him and probably hung, because that's what they do sometimes. I watched it happen one time, but it wasn't here. It was someplace else. Or I'll shoot him. I want to shoot him.
Tamley, yes. Tamley looks up at you and says, I wish you would. That thing you held there, make it, put it to good use. And Tamley gets up, wiping tears away from her eyes, and she walks out of the cellar with rather quickly. Ulf and Ulf look at each other. They look back at you and say, "We are going to see if we can help Tamley out. Please, if you hear anything, if you need us to lift something with you, you let us know. We'll just be with the wagons." And they bolt out of the cellar after Tamley.
Bye. If you're the killers, I'm gonna shoot you too.
I love that.
I'll just look at Alice and say, I really do believe him.
You should.
Almost
All right.
3 times.
That's true.
I'm confused.
Okay, so you are all still in the somewhat wrecked base cellar of the feed mill, surrounded by spices and cookware and a purple bloated dwarf corpse.
Wonderful.
Now would probably be a good time to discuss, since you split up the party a little bit, you might want to discuss your individual findings. Maybe you can put something together.
So, Alice, why don't you tell them what you told me? Because you're the smart one.
Oh yes, this poison. The name is very misleading because it's actually a red flower and it's this big. So, and it cannot be processed. That's a very important thing. It cannot be processed or it's not gonna poison anymore. So he had to eat the entire flower.
That's very interesting because I investigated the food that he ate back in the tavern, and that there was a big difference between the pot of porridge that was cooked en masse and his serving, but there were purple flecks in his bowl of porridge. So I would have assumed that was the poison, but you're suggesting that it's something completely different.
Purple flecks. But the flower is red though, right? Alice?
Well, that's what I remember.
She seems to believe so.
I read it in the book.
But which book? Did you confuse it with a chapter?
But perhaps we need to do some more investigation on it. Just get some more solid evidence, I suppose.
Okay. So are you going to be continuing looking around the cellar, or do you want to check elsewhere?
I'm good to not check here anymore. We've looked pretty much everywhere in this place.
Yeah, you kind of tore this cellar apart.
Unless we looked horribly, I'm pretty confident this place has been checked.
Okay. All right. So as you are leaving the cellar, you come up into the alleyway that leads into the stables. If one of you, or if any or all of you, want to give me a perception check in the tower, please.
Sure thing.
Hopefully, things will be a little bit better now.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay. Let's see. Okay, got another one coming in. And Con, if you would please give me a perception check in the tower as well.
Shoot, I need to log
Oh, did you get
back
booted
into
out of Fantasy Grounds?
Fantasy Grounds. You can continue without me.
Okay, cool. To be honest, we don't need you for this particular check anyway because 3 people succeeded. So the only people who did not notice this is Rex, because he's swaggering out of the cellar, proud, just like the goblin boy he is. However, Abe, Alice, and Dirk, all 3 of you at the same time notice a glint out of the right side of your eye, over near the door to the stables.
Oh, shiny.
You do not see it. You're the only one who didn't see it, Rex.
Okay.
You're too busy moving like Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, you're swaggering out of there like you're the sheriff of Andoran. So you did not see this. You did not see it.
If they had a double door that swings both ways, you'd boot it open.
Yes, that's exactly what Rex was doing just now. He booted the double doors of the cellar open and he was swaggering out. But yeah, Alice, Dirk, and Abe, you see a glint on the ground.
I'll point at it and say, look over there, and I'll head towards it.
As you get closer, you see that on the ground is a small glass vial with a simple cork in it.
Is the vial full of anything?
It is empty.
I'll pick it up.
Okay. It's just a standard glass vial with the standard cork, just like you would see in any healing potion or in any apothecary, any alchemist shop. It's very generic.
Okay. I'll turn to everybody else. First of all, I'll give the vial to Alice and say, I believe you could probably make use of this somewhere. This vial is quite obviously empty, but I propose that it wasn't always. Maybe we should find out who else has been down here recently.
Ooh,
Okay.
Alice, can I smell it? Can I smell it, Alice?
Yeah, she's gonna stick it to your nose.
Okay. As you pop the cork off and you sniff deep, you realize this vial is unmistakably the exact same scent that came off of Bort's mouth.
This is it. I can smell it. It smells just like it.
No, it's a decoy. I told you it's a red flower that makes absolutely no sense. This was planted here to confuse us.
Rex, I have a very important question for you. Is it a smell? Is it a smelly smell? Is it a smelly smell that smells smelly?
Yes, it smells
No,
just
it's
like
actually
that.
delightful.
That's all I need to know.
Well, maybe they kept the red flower in this, and that's how like they took it out using like pliers, and then they put it in his food, or maybe they just put it right in his mouth, or maybe they're really good and they can throw it and it like bounced off of his thing and went into his mouth while he was talking, because he talks a lot.
Maybe he poisoned himself.
Maybe he poisoned himself. Maybe it was you since you found the vial.
I think it was an accident. He just wanted to eat a flower and he didn't know it was poisonous because the flower was pretty.
Maybe.
Sure, do that before.
I do that sometimes.
Listen, we need to find out who was in here before we came down, who's been in here recently, because I think that will help us in our investigation somewhat.
Just for clarification's sake, the vial was closer to the stables than the cellar.
So, who said that they were at the stables? It was the
Who
woman
ran
that was
off
in
the-
grief.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one. Oh God, what is her name? The halfling that was super drunk when you first rolled into town. Good lord, I'm sorry. I should have prepped better than that.
Oh, it's okay. There's lots of people to remember.
Yeah, there's so many
Yeah,
NPCs.
there's so many
it's
names.
really hard to keep track. I apologize. There's the gazetteer, NPCs. What the heck? Edra. Yes, Edra. She's the drunken halfling that you met when you first rolled into town. She would have been at the stables.
Okay.
Edra was there, and then wasn't there somebody else who ran towards the stables too when the bar fight started?
The goblin?
There were 3 people that left the bar. There was Delma, the barmaid, Finnick the goblin, and God, what is his name? Halid, the bald human man.
I would say
He
that
was the
Finnick
one that I
was the
tried to
one.
arm wrestle, right? He was the one I tried
That's
to arm
right.
wrestle.
Yeah, he
Okay,
was a dick.
so which
He's kind of a
direction?
racist too.
Which direction is the cook's house from the bar? If we were
That I
on the road.
believe is north. I believe north, but let me double check.
Okay, so if we continued heading down the road, would we eventually get to her house past the stables? Like, would she have to go
Yes.
past the stables to get there? Okay.
Yes. She would have going out of the kitchen because there's a door straight to the kitchen that leads into the alleyway that has the cellar next to it and is connected to the stables.
Okay. So then Rex would say,
Wait, that cook lady, she came out here. She had to go home, because I didn't see her leave, I don't think. And she was the one that made his food. Maybe she was the one that poisoned him. But
That does
why?
seem reasonable.
Yes, I will confirm you did not see her actually at all. You did not see Amora enter or leave, but she was just gone when you went back to investigate.
Oh, she's probably the one that did it, man. Let's go talk to her.
Person totally murdered somebody.
All right.
Let's go talk to him.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to head north to the old orchard then, huh? Okay, let me pull this stuff up. Let me get my ducks in a row really fast.
Never.
So yes, asking around and remembering that Rolf said that Amora does live at the old orchard just outside town. That once used to be a very productive apple orchard. These days, it's pretty foul and rotten, and the trees have taken on a bit of a sickness. So as you're getting closer, you do again begin to see these trees looking not that great. They're sickly, they're thin. The apples are small and wrinkled. But I think now would be a good time to go to the map.
Yay, map!
This is a thing. In goblin terms, we would say this place is fucked up.
Let's see, share.
How very eloquent of you.
Okay, did all of you get that map?
Yeah.
It's black.
It's
Yeah,
needs
it's
a moment
loading.
to
Okay, it should be
load.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take a moment to load. So let me, and then I need to place you on the map. So give me a second here.
And I'm gonna peel my lazy eyes
Thought I had this.
for the red flowers everywhere as we go.
There we go.
Both eyes pointing different
Oh, okay.
directions. Right.
Sure. So this would actually be a really good time to talk about exploration modes, because in Pathfinder 2E you can have sort of a passive thing that you're doing as you're walking along. So Alice, I would say that your exploration mode is searching. So you are looking out for this flower. So you would get a +1 to any perception checks that you're going to have to make. So let's talk about the other exploration modes. You can be guarded for if you're looking for danger. You can be sneaky and use stealth if you're wanting to be sneaky. If you're trying to be loud and make everything go away and scare everything, you could be intimidating. So really, you can do just about anything for your exploration modes. Just let me know what exactly it is all of you are doing as you approach this orchard.
So as we're walking towards the orchard, I'm gonna say to the group,
How about you get her attention, and while you're talking to her, I'll sneak around and dig through her stuff. Goblins are good at that. We have little hands, so we can get into all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's actually not a bad idea. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's actually a very good idea. While we talk to her and try and get reasoning of where she has been and what she has done, then I suppose yes, that works for me. Anybody else?
I have no problem with that.
Okay. Has the map loaded for everyone now?
Yes.
yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, you can place yourselves anywhere you want along that bottom edge, and then just let me know how you're moving.
I'm happy where I am, to be fair. Actually, I'd probably try and be on the path, but I've got Con and Dirk there as well. Are we able to share the same space?
Oh, gotcha. For the moment, yeah, you can.
Okay, I'll be on Mary. That's fine.
There.
No, I'll move here.
Perfect. Okay. So Rex, are you actually going over there to the right to be all sneaky and such?
Yeah, I'm gonna go as far away from them as possible, kind of in the dark, and use my goblin eyes to see, and kind of just get real low and crouch and cover myself with my black duster and just kind of sneak.
Cool. 1 second. Where is it? +5. Okay. So Rex, if you could give me a stealth check in the dice tower.
Roger. Okay.
Okay.
That,
Cool.
Did that roll? It looked like it didn't roll.
It did. I saw it.
Okay.
No, I see it. When you do the dice tower, it doesn't show it to you. I think you know that though. But yes, I see.
It was weird because it looked like it didn't. I didn't see a dice roll across like it normally does. Even though there's a shadowy dice, I normally see something.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So that's your stealth. So y'all can are free to move about as you wish. And so you are aware the Amora's house is at the far end of the road, just a little bit off screen, about 200 feet off screen, roughly.
All right.
I guess I'll be in what did you call it? Searching exploration mode. So yeah, okay. So I'm looking for a boost to my perception, I suppose.
Sure. Okay.
And I'll just start walking up the path when everybody else does, just having a look around and see what I can see.
And what's the marching order? If you could all four of you put yourselves in some kind of an order.
I am definitely behind Dirk. I don't care whereabouts.
Okay.
I'll just
Dirk. All right, Dirk, give me a perception check, please. Dice tower.
All right. Dice tower.
I'm gonna be
perception
kind of
check.
keeping in line with Dirk, just sort of off to the side. And anytime I get to a tree, I'm just kind of like get up to the tree, hug the tree real close, and kind of like hide.
Okay. All right, Durg, you, as you get closer and closer down this road, close to that tree, you start to hear a loud buzzing to your right. And as you get a little bit closer, I need all of you to roll initiative, please. Rex,
man.
roll it as stealth. Abe, you and everyone else, everyone gets a +1 because Abe was searching. So, yeah. Or no, except everybody. Yeah, everyone gets a +1 on their initiative.
Okay.
Do we add that in after we roll?
No. Over in the very bottom left corner, you see where it says modifier. Click that, type 1, and then roll your initiative.
I didn't do that.
And it'll automatically.
For
I didn't
fuck's
do it
sake.
either, but I don't think it matters.
Oh, that's okay.
You should be able to overtype my initiative in the combat tracker. Could you add the +1, please?
Yes, I can. So that's 19 for Abe.
Thank you kindly.
And I added the modifier. I'm good.
Yeah, I added
You
the
did? Okay,
modifier
great.
as well.
All right, so then Alice gets another one as well. So you get a 6 initiative. Fantastic. Okay, and then this, as you're getting that close, you see a large swarm of bees that are just large, angry, and buzzing at you. So,
Not the
however,
bees.
let's see. So, having Durg having said, "Sounds like danger," Khan, you being ready for action at any time, get to go first. What do you do?
Woohoo! Do I perceive that it's like a swarm of bees, or do I just know that there's danger?
You are aware that it's bees. Bees are quickly funneling out, or flying and shooting out of this hive, out of this tree. There are many.
Many. I don't know how effective stabbing bees with my sword would be.
Only one way to find out.
Please try it.
Yeah, why not? Well, maybe I should stay back because I've got 6 hit points.
That's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you didn't heal.
Yeah, I couldn't heal, but I do have a short bow.
Okay,
Pin one to a tree. One singular bee.
that would be
One
awesome.
singular bee.
So,
six
are you
bees with
shooting
one
with your
shot
bow?
or something?
Yes.
Okay, so it's one action to pull your bow out and a second to shoot. Let me see. That was a 15. That is a miss. Your arrow goes thunk into the tree. It was a good shot. If that had been a creature like a monkey or something, you would have nailed it. Not quite though. You still have one action left. You could move, or you can take cover, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll take cover.
You can shoot again. Okay.
I'll take cover.
So you can move. You can just use a move action to get behind any of these trees. And yeah, sure. And then that'll give you a +1 to your AC as long as you're back there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
Right.
so that is you. Abe, you are up.
Cool. Abe is going to take a look at the swarm and be slightly horrified by what he's seeing to start with. And he's going to very quickly wave his hand in the air and he's going to cast Acid Splash on the swarm.
All right. Go ahead and roll that on top of the swarm.
I think
Let's
I've got
see the
them
spell
targeted.
Yep, you have it targeted.
Sorry, I'm still getting used to using this as a player. I'm not quite used to it yet.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Do I roll? Do I click the attack or do I click the target? The D20.
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's the
You
D20.
double click the D20 icon that has like the plus and stuff next to it. So if you're looking in your actions,
Yeah.
It's gonna be like mine says +9, so yours will be whatever that is. Where that +9 is, you double click that and it should roll it for you.
Okay, let's just try this. Oh, I'll just roll twice for Christ's sake. Just take the first one.
That's because it's a casting. So if it's a casting button, then you just click it once, but that's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't
Cool.
matter.
Okay, I'm with it now.
Yeah, the 23 hit. So go ahead and roll damage on top.
Oh, damn!
All right. So, wiggling his hands in the air, Abe, without missing a beat, summons this large globule of green fluid, and he hurls it at this mass of bees, and it splashes against a few of them, and many of them drop to the ground immediately. You still have one action, Abe.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay put. I'm not gonna move from this spot, which will end my turn.
All right. Nope. Rex, you are in.
So Rex, the fastest gun in the West, has drawn his weapon without the need of taking an action to do so, like some of these people.
True.
And he is going to just let a rip and blast with Betty at this swarm
Fantastic.
of insects.
That is a hit. Okay. So this blast of fire and a single lead shot comes screaming out from behind this tree. You are no longer hidden.
Okay.
Okay.
And then he reloads with his second action, and with his third action is going to fire again.
That is a miss. The bullet goes a little bit wide and shoots off to the north a little bit. Even you knew that wasn't enough. Okay, it is time for the bees. Bees. So, let's see. Yes. All right. So these bees, as they are flying out of this tree, just funneling out of it, they move 5, 10, and engulf
Fuck!
entirely. So, Durg, you need to make a reflex save for me, please.
The
Great.
bees!
All right, reflex save.
Yes, please.
All right. Not great.
That's not enough. Okay. You take 2 points of piercing damage, and now if you would please roll me a fortitude save, and I'll put that damage on you here. Okay. Oh, that's bad. You are now clumsy 1 for a minute, so everything dexterity based takes a -1, including your AC.
Ooh.
And in addition to that, you take 1d4 poison damage. So,
Oh, good thing I didn't use my reflex or my dexterity for anything.
you take 4 points of poison damage. So okay, there we go. That's just a single move. No, that's 2 actions. 1 move, 1 swarm. And then it's going to move 5, 10, 15, and engulf both Abe and Alice. So both of you, please make me a dexterity save.
I hate you. Was that a reflex save?
Reflex, yes. Sorry, it's not 5e, not a dexterity save. Reflex.
Need it in the dice tower?
No, just in the chat. This is public. You'll know if you fail or not. Because otherwise you'll take a bunch of bee stings. Ooh, good roll, Abe. Okay, so... Okay, so Abe, you are going to take half damage. Alice, you will take full. Abe, you take no damage. Alice takes 1. So you both take... Alice gets a couple of bee stings, at which point, Alice, please roll me a fortitude save. Abe, you do not need to roll one.
Aha! I'm like slapping them with the back of my hand. Like, fuck off.
Oh, she fails too. So, Durg and Alice are now both clumsy 1 for a minute, and Alice takes 3 points of poison damage. So, there we go. And that is the entirety of the bee swarm's turn. Durg, you are up.
All right, as turn 1, I'm going to enter Mountain Stance.
Great.
Yep. Just so that we're not worrying about that dexterity at all.
Ah, smart.
Let's see here. No, that is not
What does
right.
the mountain stance do?
So Mountain Stance allows me to add a +4 to my not my dexterity, but my AC. But I lose all my dexterity bonuses. I also lose an additional 5 feet of movement, but my damage die does get bumped up to a D8 on my unarmed strikes.
This is a good time to use mountain stance because you're clumsy, so you don't benefit from dex anyway. So yeah, this is a good time for it.
And
Yep,
then
okay.
I'm gonna go spot some buds.
All right, do it. Flurry? Are you flurrying or?
Yeah, I'm gonna flurry. Let's get
I
it.
love monks so much.
Monks are the best.
All right. So we'll do 2 attacks.
Ooh, nat 1. Critical miss. Ooh, that one hits though. Good job. Okay,
All right.
so
all right.
you
stayed
all,
for.
if Abe had been slightly taller, you would have punched him in the head. You just grazed. Do you wear a hat, Abe?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you just graze past his hair with your fist, just barely missing Abe's face. But the second attack does connect. Ooh, it's weird though. As you're, unarmed mountain. 1 second.
It does say the other way around. It does say it missed the swarm and it's hit me.
Oh, you were targeting Abe with that second.
Oh yes, you were attacking Abe. Sorry. So Abe once I was gonna say that shouldn't have. Yeah, that shouldn't have done that much. So let me fix. I'll fix Abe. Wait. No.
Now the damage was against a large swarm, but the attack was against Abe. But that still
Yeah, I
should have hit
must
the
have dropped
swarm,
it
I
on you.
think.
I feel
Oh,
personally offended though. What the?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that would have
doesn't matter,
definitely
everyone
still
keeps
hit
saying
the. That would have hit the swarm still though, so that's fine.
Would that have been a critical hit against the swarm? Or no?
That's a good question. Let me check. No, it would not have been. However, it would have. Dirk, do you have anything that overcomes resistances?
It's because he rolled 1, maybe? No, because it
Maybe,
has mods
'cause
too,
that-
right?
Yeah, that shouldn't have overcome the resistance. So I'm just going to fix that on my end. So, oops, wrong way. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. So we should be good. That was 3 actions, right there?
It's untyped. That's why. So for your unarmed attack, you have to put the type into like bludgeoning or something because it's untyped.
Yep.
So because of that, it doesn't recognize that it's resisted.
That's why. Yep, you're totally right. We'll fix that later. Okay, so that is Dirk's turn. Alice, you are now up.
Okay. Dark energy is gonna start surrounding her hands, and she's gonna like put them into the swarm and try to chill attach the bees.
Okay, I'm down for it. Let's see that. That's a fortitude save, right?
Yes. They take
Okay.
damage, I think, and if they fail the fortitude, something else
If you can-
happens.
Troll click
what's-
them, honey. You should be able to roll the saves and stuff for them.
Yeah,
That's true. There is that. So, yep, did that. Okay, they fail the fortitude save. They take 5 points of damage, and they are now flat-footed. That's great. Cool. I didn't know that. All right, that's 2 actions. You still have 1. I should probably point out, you are standing in a swarm of bees.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. They do not get flat-footed because
Oh.
This is effect for undeads, and I just saw an effect,
okay,
so I
okay.
click it. But
Got it. Okay, I fixed it. It's no longer flat-footed.
on a critical failure of fortitude, they're
Mhm.
enfeebled 1 for 1 round.
Okay,
whatever
that was a
means.
regular fail though, not a crit. Enfeebled sucks.
So I just
So yeah, that was cold damage, correct, or negative? One of those two.
negative.
Negative. Cool. So all of that went through. A bunch of these bees drop out of the air as you do that. They appear to be mad, but they are falling like flies, as it were. So I think that's 2 actions, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I can like disengage and move away with the remaining action.
You can. Yeah, you can move up to your speed.
So remember, the opportunity attacks in this don't work the same. Not all creatures get opportunity attacks, and we
That's
don't
right.
all get opportunity attacks, so you don't have to disengage always.
Okay, well.
Yep.
That's...
I'll let because opportunity attacks are basically you need to be trained, like explicitly trained to do them. So I'm just gonna say bees don't have the best training in the world, so they do not take an attack of opportunity as you move away from them.
That surprises me.
I know, right? Who'd have thought? So Alice moves. That's the end of your turn. Nope. Con, you're up.
All
You
right,
are still
cool.
hidden.
Nice. Can I
not
take
hidden,
some?
but you have cover.
Can I take some pot shots at the swarm of bees from
Yes.
my hiding spot?
Yes, you
Open hit me.
I will try very hard not to hit my friends.
Yeah. So go ahead and throw that attack over the swarm. That's a hit.
Much
All
better.
right, you managed to nail a couple of these with the fletchings on your arrow. So roll that damage on top.
I miss not getting to add my dex modifier because this isn't a melee weapon.
Yeah, it's not. Even though you managed to hit a couple of them with the feathers of your arrow, Abe, you happen to notice that was a good shot, but it just kind of pushed the bees to the side. It didn't actually kill any of them. Okay, so there's one.
Oh no.
Whoa.
It was a good shot, though.
That was a good shot.
Mhm.
I don't know if I can do anything that will help.
Run.
I
You
don't
could
have
take
any
the
magic.
hide action. Or you could take out an item if you need one.
I'll take the hide action.
Cool. Roll me a stealth check in the dice tower, please. Okay, cool. So there's 2, so you have 1 action left. If you want, you could switch items. You can just pass. Doesn't matter. You can move. You can climb the tree. I suppose I would let you do that.
Sure, I'll scurry up the tree.
All right, either athletics or acrobatics, and I'll take that.
Acrobatics in dice tower.
Nah, public.
Please don't take full damage.
25. You scurry up this tree like the acclaimed climber you are, and so now you are hiding in the tree. Okay, that's Con. Abe is up.
Okay, I am going to use 1 action to get the hell out of this swarm.
Okay. Perfect.
I'd like to move to about there. And I'm going to turn around and throw another acid splash at these motherfuckers.
All right, give me that spell attack roll. That's a hit. Roll me some damage. Let me see, where am I at? I am there. Okay, as Abe once again pulls his hands, pulling this green tumultuous liquid just out of the air, hurls it again. It goes up in a beautiful arc, explodes above where the swarm is, and rains green acid down on these bees, burning them and making their corpses all fall to the ground. You have defeated the swarm, and as these bees begin sizzling on the ground, you see a figure running. I don't have a token for it, so this is theater of the mind. A figure is running down the road at you very, very quickly from the north, wearing what appears to be padded armor head to toe, face covered, holding a large it's like a canister, metal canister about this big, with a bunch of smoke coming out of it, and they're rushing at you really quickly.
Ah!
Are they running at me?
They're running essentially straight at Abe, from your perspective, straight at Abe.
I
Okay.
think we killed your bees.
As they get closer, you see them pull up the front part of the mask and look around, and you can see it's an older human woman, and she says, "All of you all right? The bees have been acting crazy lately. I've got the smoke that calms them down." And she goes over and starts to spritz the trees that are over near Durg and the one behind Abe with the smoke. Just it calms them down. It keeps them from being aggressive. My goodness, are all of you all right? Did you get attacked by those bees?
If you just take a look over there, I think you'll find that not only we did, but we've had to deal with the problem ourselves.
My goodness, my gracious! I apologize so much. They've been doing this for quite some time now. Oh my goodness gracious! Please come inside, and I'll get those patched up for you. I have a nice anti-venom that'll take that stings right out. Please, come this way.
Can I try to hide again while they're talking?
Absolutely. As soon as the woman, actually, you're way over there. Let me see it. Throw me a stealth check, and I'll just see if she even knows you're there in the first place. You are extremely confident that she does not know you're there, Rex. This
yeah,
woman is a little beside herself, trying to hopefully figure out this whole thing with the bees, and she wants to make sure nobody got hurt on her property.
I slip the gun back into the holster and I close the cloak up, and I kind of slip into the darkness further away, trying to like make sure I keep my distance from them.
Okay, fantastic. Well, and as she's walking down the road with all of you, she says, "Oh my goodness, where are my manners? My name is Amora. I'm the cook at the feed mill. This last day has just these last few hours. Can't even keep track of time. These last few hours have been just such a horrible time. Please, come inside. We'll speak more." As you get to the house that is just north of the orchard. She beckons you inside of her small cottage, and I think that is going to be a great spot to take a break.
Awesome. So thank everybody for being here, and Abe Sinister, thank you for another gifted sub.
Hey,
and 1,000 bits. Damn.
And 1,000 bits. I guess I missed that one. I didn't see.
Yeah, it was just in chat. Yeah. Abe was absolutely awesome. Not my character, Abe Sinister, in the chat, just to clarify.
Abe Sinister is very awesome. Thank you for the bits, and thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate it.
You're right.
Yeah, we all appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank everyone else for watching.
How long's break going to be? It'll be 10 minutes or so?
10-ish? 15?
It's appreciated.
5 to 10 minutes.
Sure.
I think.
Let's call it 10.
Let's call 10. Okay.
Yeah, let's call it 10. All right, fantastic.
See ya, everyone in 10 minutes.
See you shortly, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for waiting. We are back from our break, and we rejoin our adventurers within the orchard that appears to be not doing so well. They have exterminated the bee swarm that came out of this large tree, and they were greeted at the north on this road by who they can only assume is Amora. Or no, she introduced herself by Amora, the cook from the feed mill. So I believe Rex wanted to do something, or who was that? It was Rex?
Yeah, I wanted to check the bees, like after they went a good ways away, so that they wouldn't look behind and see me.
Mm-hmm. Because you are.
I'm gonna go over and check the bees and like see if there's anything obviously weird about them, and I'm gonna check the tree that they came from.
Give me. Are you trained in crafting?
Yeah, I am trained in crafting.
Okay, either nature or crafting.
Okay, crafting. It's a +6, so.
No, they just kind of look like bees.
Okay.
Especially with how burned and melted they are from Abe's acid. Even if they were like the wolf that was, leaking acid out of its mouth, you would have no idea because of all of the acid that Abe just spilled all over them.
Gotcha.
You couldn't tell, even if you were sure these were acidic bees, you wouldn't be able to tell what's his acid, what's the bee acid. So they just look like melted bee carcasses.
Okay. I kind of like pick through a couple bees, and if I can't tell anything about them, I'll go to the tree instead and just look at the tree.
I was fully expecting you to say, I didn't tell anything about them, I'm just going to eat them.
Well,
I believe that.
He would if they weren't bees, though.
Sure. Okay, so that was this tree right there. So go ahead and give me a nature check in the dice tower, if you would.
Okay.
Even if you're untrained.
I am trained, though
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to do me much good. We'll see.
It just looks like a sick tree. Just kind of doesn't have a ton of leaves. The apples don't look very good. It's a sick tree. That's all you got.
I'm going to take an apple and take a bite out of it.
It's edible.
Okay.
You've had worse as a goblin, but it's not. You've definitely also had better.
I spit it out because apples are too healthy for me.
Love it. All right. As I think that's a great spot to cut over. Amora is standing in her fully head-to-toe beekeeper, essentially makeshift beekeeper suit made out of different bits of leather armor that she picked up here and there, padded pieces of padding from furniture, sewed into old shirts, that kind of. It's very clearly a homemade suit. But she opens the door and beckons you, and please, please enter. My home is not very large, but we can at least take care of your stings. Anything, please come in. I'll put a kettle on. And she, as she walks into the kitchen, she starts taking off the armor that she's wearing, and you can see she is actually. That's a good point here. As she does so, you see this. This is Imora. She's a somewhat elderly human woman with black hair with 2 stripes of white going across the sides, sort of in the Picard style, if for any of my Star Trek fans out there, with a large black bun tied tightly at the back of her head. But she seems kindly, and she walks into the kitchen and comes out a moment later with a hot kettle and a tray of drinking cups and begins to pour some tea. Oh no, please don't tell me what brings you up this far north outside of town.
Well, we believe that you are the cook at the tavern in town. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, that's correct. Going on 20 years now. I've been working in the back, serving up food for the townsfolk. We don't get a lot around these parts. This is turnip country. Some game comes through occasionally. I try my best to cook up and keep the town fed.
It sounds like it's quite the career you've had so far.
Yeah, I've done many things across my life. This is just the latest venture. It keeps me in the orchard.
We come to ask you quite an uncomfortable question, I'm afraid to say.
I was afraid that may have been the case. I believe I heard that you newcomers in town were with Bort on the merchant's caravan.
That's correct, yes.
Yes, that's an unfortunate, horrible thing that happened to old Bort. I've known him many years now. He's been coming through Etrin's Folly at least once or twice a year for a decade or more. He always brings a laugh and plenty of coin into our town. He's kept the feed mill open basically by himself these last several years after the plague.
Were you around when the incident happened?
Oh my, yes. Back in the 20 years ago, there was... what do you know of the plague?
Not that incident, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Oh, no, not a problem at all. Here, drink up. And she starts handing out cups of tea to each of you, and she takes out a tray of biscuits. And Rex, where are you currently?
So Rex is like, at this point, his face is sort of looking at like the glass. You can see his little eyes maybe, and like he's kind of like listening. And then like once he sees that she's like busy talking, he's gonna try to find like a different room and like peer in, see what he sees.
Okay. As you are you being stealthy?
Yeah, I'm being as stealthy as possible.
Throw me a new one.
Okie dokie.
In the tower. Okay. As you pop up into another window and look in, Amora is again passing out cups of tea to every one of you. And when she gets to Abe, she's passing you your cup, and she says, "If you would like to invite in your little goblin friend, he's more than invited." That means she saw you.
I act like she didn't see me because I'm invisible.
That's fair. Okay. But as she's passing out the tea, she says to you, Abe, "Oh, goodness me, I was definitely in Etrin's Folly back during the Troubles. Some folk called the town Plaguestone because of what happened here. But, yes, there was this horrific disease that swept through the area. It took people, livestock, crops, everything was just wasting away on the vine, so to speak. In fact, it got so bad that we had to completely quarantine everyone in the town." I swear to God, this was written before 2020, so sorry for the kind of flashbacks, y'all. But continuing. Yeah, we had to quarantine the town from one another. The elderly had to be kept separate from the poor, and the poor had to be kept separate from the affluent. The reason we call the town Plaguestone, you see, is just to the south of the main road. There's a large stone pillar that sits at the front of the town. It has a small bowl inside of it.
the wealthier people amongst the town would leave coins, gold and silver, for the less fortunate who were plagued. Within the bowl of the stone itself, we had to keep it topped up with vinegar, so that when we put the coins inside, the poor it would help with getting rid of the disease within the coins. So it was quite a horrific experience for all. The town has never been quite the same. As you've probably noticed when you first entered town, many of the houses are abandoned, buildings are crumbling. The town probably does not have much longer on this world. The only thing keeping it alive is the occasional caravan coming through, such as all of you. But I'm afraid if there's talk of a murder within Etron's Folly, it seems that people may want to avoid this place. But I speak too much. In my old age, I don't get many visitors, and I tend to be long-winded. But tell me, what is specifically the purpose of your visit? And she's kind of looking to all of you, specifically the Abe, though.
I'll respond. Well, I said that we came with an uncomfortable question. We have to ask, what were you doing when Bort died?
I was in the kitchen the entire night, you see, and I prepared the food. Unfortunately, I am the one who made the porridge that Bort ate near the end. However, Delma was the one who plated it, and Finnick is the one who brought it and served it to everyone at each table. So there was a short period of time after I had cooked it in my kettle in the kitchen of the feed mill that it would have been out of my hands.
Can I roll a perception check on that, please?
Absolutely. Throw it in the tower, please. You get no sense of deception from her. She seems to be telling, as far as you can tell, the truth. Seems honest. Seems like a kindly old woman.
In which case, I'll say out loud, maybe we need to find Finnick after all.
Oh, Finnick, he tends to run away at the first sign of trouble. When that fight broke out between all of those local roughs, he probably just ran off. He tends to do that. He often gets a stray chair to the face during these types of brawls.
We have heard.
I left as well, because an old woman like me has no business being within a fight like that. As soon as things started being thrown around, I ran out the back way of the kitchen.
Is there somewhere that Finnick would usually go when he gets out of the town?
Well, sometimes he hides up in the rafters above the stables. Let me see. He does have a few hiding spots around town. Over near the apothecary, there's a small waste refuse bin behind there that he sometimes can be found in looking for scraps. He likes to have banana peels, things of that nature. He likes them. I'm afraid I don't know of all of his hiding spaces, but those are the two I'm aware of.
No problem. Well, thank you for the information. It's all very helpful, and we're sorry that we had to come here with such an awkward question. The tea is lovely.
Oh, thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Oh, please, here. I just made fresh biscuits. And she runs into the kitchen and she opens up what appears to be a metal stove or an oven that has in the kitchen. And as soon as she does, just this incredible smell of sweet rolls and honey fills the air.
Does it smell of flowers?
Give me a perception check. That's an interesting question.
I tap the glass and I go, "Don't eat it." And then I move to the next room to see what I see.
Abe, you're so overcome with the smell of how good this smells. It smells delicious that you, for a brief moment, completely forget about Bort's murder. All that's in your brain right now is getting those in you.
Okay, in which case I'll say, while I have one of these delicious-looking biscuits, Dirk, Con, Alice, is there anything that you would like to ask while we're here?
Before I ask her question, I have a question. I didn't see any red flowers on the way here. Did I?
Give me a perception check. I forgot you said you were looking for that, so go ahead and throw me a perception check in the dice tower.
And yeah, I would definitely also check myself the tea and the biscuits. Oh Jesus, hard
Okay.
to pronounce words.
I'll let you use your. Yeah, sure. I'll let you use your perception for both of those.
Yeah, sorry, I'm.
So you're trying to see if they smell like the flowers, like Rex did, or like Abe did. Is that what you said?
Like the
Cool.
poison.
Sure. You didn't see any kind of red flowers. In fact, there's not even that many flowers in this area. You kind of take into account how sickly this orchard is, and how sickly those wolves are, and how the townsfolk have been saying this has been happening a decent amount lately. So you can kind of infer that the lack of flowers in this area is probably somewhat related to what's been going on. But no, you have not seen any flowers at all. And the other question, no, these biscuits smell amazing. They smell of honey and freshness. They smell fantastic. But you don't smell anything that reminds you of that floral smell that you smelled on Bort.
After inspecting the tea and biscuit, I'm gonna take a sip and take a biscuit and enjoy them.
All right.
Hoping
And
this is
Amora
better.
begins eating one as well, and says,
Well, if there's nothing else you need from me, I need to get back to my chores within the orchard. You're welcome to come by at any time. I always have tea around this time of day. But please, if do your best in finding what happened to dear old Bort. He was a great friend. And
I do have
high
one more
asset
question,
one.
actually.
Oh yes, of course, dear, of course.
Do you know anyone who did not like Bort? That might have a motive.
Well, I mean, everyone in town, at the very least, respected his coin. He brought a decent amount of money through here. He was friends with most people. We all enjoy his stories. True or not true they may be, they are highly entertaining. More entertaining than Flanco, at least. But, I would say,
well, actually, give me a diplomacy check at this one.
Me?
In the tower. Yeah, con. Or intimidation if you're being intimidating. Your choice.
No, I don't want to scare this old woman.
Okay, I've just given you the option.
Yeah.
Release your inner Rex.
That's all she tells you. Okay.
What if the bard did it out of jealousy?
Could be. Maybe.
What about
please,
red flowers? Did you see red flowers? Did you see anyone with red flowers?
red flowers? Goodness me. There hasn't been a flower in these parts in quite a while. No, I don't believe I've seen anyone with red flowers. That would have definitely stuck out to me.
What about purple flowers? Or violet coloured?
Violet? Well, that seems to be a little more common for flowers in this temperate range. It's possible that we do see some people come through here with lilacs because they tend to grow in the harsher soils. I suppose there's been purples in this town, but I haven't seen sight nor sound of a red flower in ages. Now, please, do take another biscuit for the travels. The road is long and the sun is setting. We definitely do not want you to go hungry, and especially since we had to close the kitchen of the feed mill for the next day or so while Roth does his investigating. I will not be able to provide you much in the way of food from there, but please do take this. Fill your bellies.
Your hospitality is most appreciated.
Oh, well, thank you. It's so nice to have visitors occasionally.
I guess, with that, Abe will sip up his tea, finish the biscuit, stand up, and start heading out.
Fantastic. Okay. So, heading back to town, you have a few options at this point. You can question Delma. You can question Edra, the halfling from the stable. The farmer, Flonk, Finnick. You could try to find Finnick. You have several options at this point.
Just before we leave the house, at this point, has Amora left towards the orchard to continue with her business?
Mostly, yes. She's actually back in her room putting the beekeeper armor back on.
Okay. I'll use message and send it to Rex and say, it looks like she's just about to leave back to the orchard if you wanted to try and have a bit more of a snoop.
I stare at her from her room as she's putting her armor back on
Creepy.
from outside.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you going to go? As she finishes putting it all on, she does walk outside.
Yeah, I'll try to sneak in and
Okay.
rustle the door
check
open.
All right. Stealth and dice tower, please.
Oops. There we go.
Okay. You are now inside of Amora's house. Just so I know, where are the other four of you? Are you outside or still in the main?
I'll have left. I'll have walked outside.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yes, the four of you are kind of outside, gathered around the front, maybe enjoying your biscuits because you know what's going on. So Rex, you're in her home. It's not very big. There is a kitchen, a small sitting area where all of you were enjoying your tea and biscuits, and there's a small bedroom over inside. You just saw her.
I'm gonna take a biscuit and I'm gonna eat it while I'm looking.
It's delicious. It's decadent, fluffy, and honey covered.
I take another and I put it in my pocket for later.
It's immediately disgusting, which is great for a goblin.
I'm gonna open up like her different cupboards and stuff that she may have for cooking and just kind of looking through them to see if there's anything that I spot that's sort of out of the ordinary, and I'm gonna sniff everything and touch everything with my stupid little goblin hands.
Did you say the kitchen or her bedroom?
The kitchen first.
Kitchen? Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me another perception check in the dice tower.
Okie dokie.
Okay, as you're rummaging through the kitchen, you see pots, pans, containers of flour, sugar, some spices, but nothing too terribly out of the ordinary.
Okay. Then, after I check there, I'm gonna I'm basically just ransacking everything that's in the kitchen currently.
Okay. As I said, it's mostly just standard kitchen things. There's nothing that seems to be too amiss there.
Okay. And then after that, I'll go check her room.
Okay, give me another one. Perception. You see that she's got a wardrobe that's got clothes in it. Digging through it a little bit, you don't find anything inside of her dresser or her wardrobe other than standard clothes, aprons. You find a sewing kit.
I take that.
Okay, sure. You can add that to your inventory at some point. You now have a sewing kit. But beyond that, you don't find anything that seems like it screams out of the ordinary, murderer, or suspicious. Just the bedroom of an old lady.
Are there any dresses that are pretty that might fit Alice?
High or low?
High.
Actually, you find a dress in there that has it seems like it was embroidered almost specifically for Alice, because it's a dress that has patches all over it in the shape of like acid flasks, healing potion vials, all over it with cauldrons on top of fire, and it looks to your eye to be about the same height.
I take it.
All right, you now have a sewing kit and a dress that is approximately Alice-sized.
I'm gonna go back into the kitchen and grab another biscuit for the road that's not in my pocket, and I'm gonna take that too, and I'm gonna eat it as I'm leaving.
Okay.
Drink all the tea that's left, and then probably burp really loud as he's opening the door and walking out.
The four of you standing out front, enjoying the last of your biscuit. The door bursts open, very Western style. In fact, just in the distance, you could have sworn you heard And you are joined once again by Rex, who has a dress slung over his shoulder like a damsel tied to a train track.
Hey, Alice, I found this for you. It's just in your size.
And I walk up to her and I hand it to her.
Did you just steal it from this nice old lady?
No, I took it.
Oh, that's so nice. No one ever stole anything like this for me. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I also found this in case you want to do something with it. And I pull out the sewing kit. I don't know how to sew, but I could try to learn.
Well, yeah, you can learn. Don't assume that as a woman I'm gonna do it. You do it.
I'll Abe will look at Dirk and say, "Well, maybe there's a dress in there for you too."
I don't know. I didn't look for you, Dirk. I just looked for Alice.
You
You
think
want a
that they
dress?
have something that fit?
I don't know. Do you want a dress?
Not sure. Dirk never considered wearing dress.
Consider it, and if you want one, I'll go back and see if she has one that fits you, Dirk. But and
Thanks,
she looked
guys.
like she was clean.
What was that?
What did you say, Dirk?
Yeah, what'd you say, Dirk?
Oh no, I was just saying he just kind of nods at that.
Gotcha. All
All
right. So, do you all take off away from the orchard, or what do you do?
Yeah, I would say
She seems clean. I didn't see any poison or flowers or anything like that.
and I pull out my biscuit and I eat it.
It's delicious,
Pocket.
but it's covered in lint. But it still tastes
Mm.
pretty good. You don't even notice, or maybe you like it.
Lint flavored.
Seasoning.
Lint
Yeah.
gives it taste.
Nice texture. It's roughage. It's fine.
Helps
All
you
right.
digest things.
So, heading back south, we can get rid of that map now if you want. Heading back south, back towards Etrin's Folly, the town proper, you have, again, several options. Where would you like to first investigate? I think someone mentioned Finnick.
I think that we should find Finnick first because he's a goblin and I can talk to goblins because I'm a goblin. In case you didn't
Didn't
know.
didn't Amora say that he liked to hide up in the rafters? In which building was it that he said?
Above the stables at the feed mill, the inn, the tavern.
Well, if he's by the stables, then maybe that's where he's at because there was that vial next to the stables. So maybe he went to the stables.
Exactly. My worry is that he's now had time to run away again, but we should definitely start there and see what we can find.
Well, I'll have you know I'm the best tracker in the west and the south. And the
Aren't we
east.
lucky to have you?
Yep. I tracked the
just-
man 2 days across
just-
the desert once.
All right. So you head over towards the feed mill, entering around the alleyway to the side. You see the door down to the cellar where you are aware that Bort's body is still is. The door is closed. However, as you enter the stables, you see the horses from Bort's the caravan. They're still boarded there. Can someone give me a perception check? Doesn't matter who in the tower.
I'll leave this for someone else.
I'll go for it if no one else wants to.
Okay. I saw 2 people, so yeah, you can go ahead as well, Con. Go for it. Okay. Durg, you actually, as all of you enter the stables, Durg, you notice immediately that the horses don't look great. They're kind of shaking and they're flicking their tails up on their rears and they're kind of shaking their haunches a little bit. They look itchy. They look weird. They don't look right. And as you walk into this, And as you walk in, you also see on the ground on a pile of hay near the horses. You didn't notice at first because of, number one, the size, and number two, that you noticed the horses right away. But Dirk, you also do see a sleeping halfling female on the pile of hay with a jug still attached to her hand.
Evidence?
She's not dead, she's just sleeping.
I'll walk up to her. If like Dirk points out that the horses are sicky, Rex walks up to her and he'll pull his gun out and put it to her head and go, "Wake up!"
Turn the lights down.
What did you do to our horses?
Wait, your horse? Oh, the caravan. Oh, right.
Edra begins to right herself a little bit. Wait a second. And she reaches next to her and pulls up her jug and takes a big stiff swig off it, sets it down.
Okay. All right, your horses. Yes. When they came into town, they had fleas on them. They came in like this. It's just been getting worse these last couple of days. I've been meaning to tell you about it, but with everything with Bort, it kind of got pushed to the side. But I know how to fix this. I know how to fix it. There's this old place near town that has rosemary bushes. That if you get some rosemary, we can give it to the horses, and all of the fleas, they leave. It's a common thing we have to do for horses in this town. But the thing is, it's hard to get the rosemary because it's in a glade across town.
Why? It just sounds like I gotta walk there. That doesn't sound that hard.
He puts his gun away.
Oh, the problem isn't the walk. Well, the problem is that a bear lives in that meadow. It's not the smartest bear in the world, but it doesn't like having new people coming around and picking his rosemary. But if
What's he use the rosemary for? Is he a cook?
well, he's just a bear. I think he likes the smell of it.
Oh.
But my point is, I didn't hurt your horses. They came to me covered in flea bites. I tried to board them as best I can. I've been feeding them and watering them. They're about ready for their bed since it's... Oh, what time is it? Is it really late or is it really early? And she's looking around, noticing that it's dark out.
Late.
It's late. Well, in that case, I need to get your horses put down for the night. Can I help you with something?
Yeah, we have some questions.
Sure. Yeah, ask while I work, please.
And she starts to waddle over towards the horses, gets out a brush, and starts to brush the manes.
Where were you when the guy was killed? He was poisoned.
Oh, poor Bort. I was here in the stable. To be honest with you, I had been drinking since earlier today. I started kind of early, but I didn't actually see anything. I heard about the fight, and I heard about Bort, but I didn't see what was going on there.
Why are you drinking so much? Don't you know it's bad for your health?
What else is there to do in a town like Etrin's Folly? Plague
I don't
stone.
know.
Well,
Kill the bear or something.
to start with, you could tell us where Fennec is. Finnick, whatever his name is. Finnick, yes.
Finnick, well, that crafty little guy. Sometimes he sleeps up in the rafters here, but... And she takes a look around and says, "It doesn't look like he's here at the moment." I know that sometimes he hangs out down in the cellar of the apothecary across the street, but I know he has other hiding spaces that I don't know about. We don't talk too often. Finnick mostly keeps to himself. He's kind of a loner. People don't really like him too much, so he tries to stay away so he doesn't get into fights.
Could I roll a perception check and see if I can see Finnick in the rafters?
Absolutely.
I don't trust this person's drunken state.
100%.
Can I give him the help action or something?
Ooh! Yes, you can, but trust me, you don't need it. Abe, he is not up there.
Perfect.
You do a very thorough searching, and you are quite confident Finnick is not there. Because they're plain wooden beams, so there's not really any place to hide. It's just sort of a place that's up above where he can get away from punches. It's not really a hiding spot, so to speak.
It's just out of arm's reach.
Yeah, just out of arm's reach. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's enough that he's not going to catch a punch, but it's not enough that he could easily stay out of your sight. If he were there, you'd see him.
Perfect. Well, maybe we should just go and check his other hiding spots. I'm pretty sure we could cover more if we split up, if you think that's a good idea.
You're welcome to do that. Just also remember that it is now getting quite late at night. It's probably closing in on midnight, 1. Yeah. And your tab at the feed mill has been paid for at least a week.
Yeah, maybe we should split up since it's getting late. We need to find him before it gets too dark. And then we can't find him no more.
I don't think it's gonna
Is
get dark.
no one leaving?
What, Dirk?
Town shut down. No one leave.
I guess.
Yeah, you would be able to infer that if Rolf or someone had seen Finnick, that they would tell him, hey, no one is to leave town for the moment. So, yeah, Rolf did give the order that no one is to leave town.
By the way, guys, why didn't we think that the apothecary did it? Because he knows all kinds of stuff about poisons, I assume.
We can definitely try it out. We can go and ask.
And did it.
The halfling just told us that Finnick quite often likes to hide in the cellar of the apothecary, so we could always take another look down there.
Sure, let's go kill 2 birds with 1 stone or something. I don't know why you kill birds right now when we're looking for a murderer, but I heard someone
You brought
say
it
that
up.
once.
Okay.
Dirk, see you kill 3 birds, though.
I've got no
Yeah.
doubt that you could.
True. Okay, so the apothecary, that's where Trin lives, and it is basically just across the street from, or just down and across the street from the feed mill.
Does it look open, unlocked, or given the late hour?
No, the late hour, it's very much closed. She lives there. The Trin does live there, but she is more than likely in bed at this point. No lights are on. Or no candles or anything.
Is there a door outside to get into the cellar, or do we have to go through the apothecary?
Walking around it, you would see that you would need to... Or no, there is a door on the outside, on the back end, that goes down.
I'll walk up to that door and push it, pull it, do whatever I can, and see if I can get in.
It appears to be locked.
That's all I can do.
What's the problem?
Do we have anybody that could get through this?
Y'all
I
at...
can.
Abe says quietly.
Oh yeah, we have somebody that can do that.
I think, Con, you have thievery, correct?
Yes, I do.
You're
I'm
trained in it,
at
at
that.
least? Yeah, if you would like, you can attempt to pick the lock.
I absolutely will.
The rat crimes begin.
Give me a thievery check. Doesn't have to be. It can be public.
Nice.
Can I help?
Don't need to. Yeah. Next time, yes, but don't need it. She blazed past the DC. So, Con, with your small little fuzzy paws, you pull out your lockpick set and you say, "Oh, these," and have a lockpick in between each finger, ready to go. Walk over to the cellar door. You've put one in like you've done this 1,000 times. You put the second one in. You start to spin the tumblers, and you actually start to make small talk with Rex as you do so, and you manage to unlock the cellar door.
I did not even need a gun.
That's awesome. How did you do that? I want to learn.
Just practice in general.
I normally just shoot it.
When you clearly want something, and no one wants to give it to you, then you need to learn how to do that.
I normally just shoot stuff that does that.
Guns hurt my ears. They're very big.
That's true.
All right, so with the lock open, you are able to get the cellar to the door open. It's one of the doubles like this. Do you head in?
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right. So it is quite dark in there. Do any of you have dark vision?
I do. I've got low light vision, I believe it's called.
Low light? Okay. So, but Con, you have dark? Okay, so Con, you can kind of see. It's sort of like watching in black and white, but yeah, there are all sorts of things in here. There's even a small cot in the corner that looks to be about goblin sized. This is very clearly a place where Fennec has been in the past, or at least some place that it's clear to you that Trin is aware that he hides here sometimes. He may even have a key, you suspect. But in the rest of this apothecary's cellar, there's all kinds of things you would imagine. There's potions, there are vials, there's things full of liquid, there's chemistry sets with ooze going through little pipes. There's boxes of different types of alchemical ingredients. This is very clearly the basement of an alchemy shop, or alchemist shop.
But none of our signature poison. No trace of
You're
that.
welcome to roll me a perception check in the dice tower, and we'll see what you find.
Could I have a look around for Fennec?
Absolutely.
Perception check.
Yeah, also a perception. Con, you don't seem to find anything that rings a bell. You don't see any red flowers that are this big, nor do you see any purple flowers. Nothing that screams out anything you've heard about this poison yet. And then, Rex, is that you searching around as well?
Yeah, I'm just sniffing around.
Okay. Abe, what was specifically you said you were looking for? You said
Fennec. See if he was around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's clearly no sign of him right now. He's not here. But it as I said to Con, it looks like it's clear that he comes here fairly frequently.
Okay.
Alice, you again just see that this is clearly an alchemist who's more advanced than you, but you are probably not going to be admitting that anytime soon. But most of the stuff in here is beyond your skill. You don't understand most of what's in this basement. Rex, you are sniffing around and you're kind of overwhelmed with the different scents in here because they're kind of all exotic and different to you. You're not used to alchemical reagents, but specifically you are aware you don't smell specifically that flowery, sweet scent.
Okay.
Of all the scents you're perceiving, that is not one of them.
Well, I don't smell it. Do you think I should wait here and see if Fennec shows up?
That's completely up to you. I think we might benefit from looking elsewhere for our goblin friend.
Well,
Okay.
if you will look for him, you can go ahead. I'm starting to believe they must have misprinted something in my textbook, because I remember precisely reading about this red flower, and I'm never wrong. Or maybe the pages faded away, and it's just the color was not right. But I would like to go and check my books, especially Poisons for Dummies, and make sure. And if they made a mistake, I'm gonna write them a long letter about it.
Are there any books in here about alchemy?
Sure, absolutely. Many.
Take them.
We'll say you can have two.
Alright, I
You
take
get-
the two biggest, thickest, coolest looking ones.
All right, you get a treatise on the fundamentals of interactions between virulent and benign poisons, and you also get the Encyclopedia Galerianica of alchemical reagents.
I take them and I hand them to Alice. I go,
Look, I found these for you.
But She clearly doesn't know anything. Look at her stuff. She's doing everything wrong. That's not how you make potions. I don't know how she even runs a successful shop, but I'm sure her books are not good. But you know what? Give them to me. I'll check them.
I'm sure they're not good. Like they're probably not as good as your books, but like maybe you can compare notes, and then maybe
that-
like this tells you like how the poison is made or something. I don't know.
You can always correct her books.
Yeah, and then we can bring them back.
Yeah,
Do-
that's
doing her a
exactly what I'm
favor,
gonna
really.
do.
Perfect.
She'll be grateful, and then she'll tell us who the killer is. I bet it's her.
All right. At this point, it is pretty much approaching 1:32 a.m.
Well, I think it's time for us to go to sleep. I'm getting real tired.
You're welcome to go back to the feed mill. The front door is always unlocked, and each of you has a key to your respective rooms that were paid up front by Bort. So there's no worry about room and board for the moment for any of you. I'm not necessarily saying you should or should not do this, but I'm giving you the option. I know that Rex, you said you were thinking of potentially staying in the cellar of the apothecary to wait for Finnick. You may do that if you choose, or you may go back to the feed mill. That is entirely up to you.
I'll stay here and wait for Finnick. And
Okay,
then
cool.
Sleep in his cot.
I'll sleep in his little cot, and I'm gonna like look at some of the books until I fall asleep. The ones that are still here, and see if there's any other good books that might be good for Alice, and just kind of like chill.
Alright, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.
In the morning, Rex, and Abe is definitely going to go back to the feed mill and go up to his room. And
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Alice needs it. She needs the rest. I'm sorry. Khan needs it. She needs the rest. She's very hurting.
I'd like to have blood in my body, please.
Yeah, get that blood back in. So,
At this
just
point,
for
Alice
shits
too,
and giggles,
actually. I have
just for
5
shits and
hit points.
giggles, Rex, throw me a d20 just in the chat box. I just want to see what you get.
Okay.
Okay. You peruse through that book. It's kind of boring. It's very dry and stuffy, kind of over your head. But it's got some pretty pictures of neat flowers.
Are there any red flowers?
A couple, but none that really match the description that Alice was talking about. There's large ones. There's ones that are obviously like roses and tulips, but you know enough about flowers to know a rose and a tulip.
Okay.
Nothing that jumps out.
Then yeah, I'll if it doesn't seem interesting, I'll just like toss it to the side and then pick a different book and start reading that one until I fall asleep.
All right, so you do end up falling asleep to the boring, repetitive nature of what is essentially a botany textbook. Dirk and Alice, what are you two doing?
I think that Dirk gets into his room and then just falls asleep on the carpet.
Just straight away. I imagine that he opened the door and then just straight fall to the floor. Just
landing.
Fabulous. And Alice, how do you spend the rest of your evening?
Alice is gonna head back to her room too, and she's gonna pretty much fall asleep between the books, trying to find that entry about the flower that she remembers precisely that it was red and this big, and try to check out the new books.
You pull up your old books. You pull them out of your sack, and you take the 2 new books that Rex gave you from the bottom of the apothecary. And using the indices and the chapters, you're aware of how books work. You flip through, and you manage to find inside the encyclopedia that Rex gave you the entry for the violet breath. And there happens to be a drawing inside the encyclopedia, and you flip to the same page within your own alchemy books to find the violet breath. And you notice that your copy is water-stained. The flower is purple.
Ha! I knew it! My memory's perfect. I can never be wrong. And then I'm gonna start writing a letter to the whoever wrote the book and still blame them for the water stain, even though they're not guilty of it because it's a water stain. But I'm gonna complain about it.
Yeah, I'm throwing this out there just for my own use. Now that you figured it out, you rolled a nat 1 on your recall knowledge check for what violet breath was. Yeah, that's why you thought it was red and this big. You rolled in that one straight up.
Been searching this entire time.
Yeah, you've been wrong this entire time. What was that, Rex?
I got that as a player a bit ago, but
Yeah, I assumed y'all did, but yes, you've been wrong the whole time.
So
What,
that
Rex?
means that she got the size right then, right? Because she's supposed to get the one
Yeah,
information
yeah,
wrong.
that's right. That's right. It's a flower this big, but it's purple. Oh, the other thing, she rolled really low on a different knowledge check, and that's where the whole leaves came into play. That was also incorrect information. And that would be in your books there. They would explain exactly that you need to muddle the leaves and all that stuff. So you were wrong about two things, the red flowers and the fact that the leaves have to be consumed whole. But yes, you all fall asleep, and you may get your hit points back. So on the front of your character sheet, if you just go down to the bottom left under the main tab where it says wounds, click the number of wounds and type a 0. And that should put you all back at your maximum hit points.
There's also a way that you can give us a long rest.
Fantastic. Oh, is there? How do you do that? I'd love to know how to do
If you
that.
open up the combat tracker and then right click towards the bottom,
Uh-huh.
I think there's an option that should say like menu or something. It's also for rolling initiative. You can clear the initiative.
Oh, the menu. Menu, initiative,
Right
delete
click.
effect. Rest, exploration. Cool. Overnight rest. Oh, fantastic. Look at that. I love that. Thank you. That's
welcome.
very helpful.
And if you want after the
so that
session, I
should've-
can go over a few things with you as well, since I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like that reset your spell slots and everything. So Abe and Alice, if you want to prepare different spells for the day, you may do so. Otherwise, you can keep your sheets the same. But you wake up in the morning. Unfortunately, as you come down to the main portion of the tavern, there is no smell of breakfast, as the kitchen has been closed due to the murder investigation. So there is no breakfast prepared. And Delma is there behind the bar cleaning a glass.
I'll go down to the bar and speak to Delma and say, good morning. Hail and well met and all of those polite things that we normally say.
Good morning, Shug. How'd you sleep?
It was wonderful. Thank you very much. I feel very refreshed this morning.
Glad to hear that. I hope you didn't get too beat up in that fight last night.
Not at all.
Good. Glad to hear. What can I do you for, Sugar?
I understand the kitchen is closed because of everything that's
right.
going on. Do you happen to have any bread that's been previously prepared or anything at all that's left over?
Well, I think we got something for y'all. Hold on just a minute. And Delma goes back into the kitchen and rustles around. You hear some clinking, and she comes back out a moment later with a large, crusty loaf and a big hunk of butter and says, unfortunately, I think this is about all we got prepared and ready for eating. Maybe one of the hunters will come in with a little game later, but as long as the kitchen closed, we can't really prepare too much. But y'all are welcome to this.
Oh, thank you very much. It's all very helpful. Could I check it over for a floral smell?
Yes, absolutely. Perception in the dice tower. It's just bread, day-old crusty bread. Looks pretty good. It probably smelled a lot better when it was freshly baked, but still looks very edible.
Sweet.
It specifically does not smell like flowers or anything. It smells like bread.
Cool. I'll pull off a piece of the bread then, and then set the rest aside, ready for everybody else if they choose to have it.
Okay. Now, all of you eventually wake up in turn and come down to the main tavern. And Abe has gotten up before each of you and has procured a large loaf of bread and some butter for all of you to at least have something in your stomach to start your day.
When I wake up in the apothecary's basement.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had forgotten about that already. Yeah, let's cut over to Rex. You wake up. Yes, you wake up to the sound of a door being opened, and you hear, "Oh my, what? Who are you? Who are y'all?" And you see it is you saw Trin the other day, right? The older apothecary when you killed Bort.
That was all blustering and stuff because
Yes. So she comes down and is very surprised, but y'all
What are y'all doing down here? I thought I spoke to y'all last night. I thought you were Finnick for a second.
Oh, I was waiting for Finnick. Have you seen him?
Oh, well, let me think here. Finnick hasn't been down. Last I saw him been about 3 days. I haven't seen hide and a hair of Finnick down here. But I suppose if you need to talk to him about the problem with Bort.
Yeah, he was one of the last people that saw him and the food, so I need to talk to him.
Oh
Goblin
dear.
to goblin.
Well, I sure hope Mr. Poor little Finnick wasn't involved. That boy gets into more trouble that isn't his fault. He's such a dear. I always try to, well, as you clearly know, I let him stay down here fairly frequently without pay. But he seems to like garbage piles and things like that a little bit more than a soft bed or a cot. You can see down underneath there, he's got them black banana peels. He says it helps him sleep, the smell of them.
By the way, I was curious. Look, have you seen any red flowers around lately?
Red flowers? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we get some peonies and some poppies around here. I'll make a nice painkiller out of poppy milk. Yeah, Dirk gets it.
What you do?
So, what about the violet flower? Have you seen any of those around lately?
Now, I assume y'all are talking about the violet breath. Oh, no,
Yeah,
no, dear me, no. I do not keep anything like that in stock here. I'm a healer. I do not like poisons. The only reason I have any poison in my store at all is so that I can make anti-poison to help people. I do not sell poisons. I don't market in that. No, dear me, no.
Okay. Do you know anyone that might know anything about it? Poison, I mean?
Well, I suppose Bort, he's a merchant, comes through here with all kinds of things. People sometimes do get custom orders from Bort, and he will specifically procure something for them. But nobody, I'm the only apothecary in town. I'm the only person who would know how to make something like that. But again, I would never. But getting something into this town wouldn't be too hard. We don't exactly have guards who look through the shipments and everything. It's possible it came in on a cart.
Okay. One last question, ma'am.
Of course.
So when we came into town, there were some wolves, and they kind of looked icky. And I pulled this off of some of them.
And he pulls out this little vial of acid.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And,
dear me, let me see that.
I thought maybe you might know what it was. And also, what do
Oh,
you know
well,
about the plague?
Oh, the plague that happened here 20 years ago? Goodness me, that was an awful sight. I was not living here at the time, but I've heard some horrific stories. People getting green pustules that leak out the sides and burn off the clothes from their very bodies. It sounds truly horrific, but we haven't had any cases of the plague here, not 20 years.
That was what the wolf looked like. He was all covered in little green pustules.
Oh my. Now, this is very important here, son. This here vial, is that where this came from? Did you get this from that wolf?
Yeah.
Dear me. And she immediately turns around and starts rummaging through a drawer and pulls out a pair of glasses that have you ever seen Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, the little
Yeah, with the glasses that have like 3 or 4 different magnifying glasses on them. Yeah, it's that. So she clinks all of them down in front of her eye, and she looks at this vial and holds it up to, and she lights a candle and holds it up to it and says, "Oh my, oh my. Well, this is definitely an acid byproduct of some kind of something. This is not exactly the same as what was happening here 20 years ago during the plague, but it's somewhat similar. I've heard tales that the stuff coming out of all of the sores was a deep dark green, nearly a black, kind of an oily ichor. This is a little bit more clean. Now," and she pops the cork and sniffs and goes, oh, my, this is
a lot of strong acid. Y'all better be careful with this. You don't want to get this on your hands. That'll burn right through you. And she hands it back to you carefully.
I sniff
But
it too.
And it's acrid. It smells like battery acid.
Smells like
It stings the nostrils. You can tell it would hurt if you got it on you.
Looks at it and then puts the cork back into it.
well,
Yeah, y'all
maybe
be careful with that.
maybe it's baby, whatever it's called. It's like a baby version of it.
I suppose that's entirely possible. Well, can I answer any more of your questions there, good? I'm sorry, I never caught your name. My name's Trin.
Oh, my name is Rex Fizit.
And he holds his hand out.
And she shakes it. It's not the strongest handshake you've ever gotten, but she's somewhat of an old woman. It's nice to meet you, Rex. Again, I'm Trin. If y'all ever need anything as far as potions or healing, anti-poisons, I'm the person y'all need. But and if I see Fennec, I'll definitely tell him y'all was looking for him.
My friend was hurt. Could you spare a potion of healing?
Oh, well, they're not exactly the cheapest to make, but I'd be more than happy to sell you one.
Well, we're kind of like working for the sheriff, so like maybe you can charge him, and then like, I'll like when we finish this job, then he'll pay us, and I can pay you back.
Give me the diplomacy check,
Okay.
and it can be public. It's fine. Oh, so y'all were deputized by Rolf then, is that right? So he's having y'all... Oh, so that makes sense. That's why y'all are helping in the investigation. Every so often, Rolf will deputize some people and help him out with some of the bigger jobs. I suppose I can put it on his tab. Here. And she goes up to the front of the cellar and pulls out one small red vial and hands it to you. You have a minor... The smallest healing potion. I can't remember if it's lesser or minor.
I think it's lesser.
Cool. Whatever the smallest one is, you have one. And you can put it in your inventory.
Gee, thanks. Well, I'll be going because
Of course, sugar.
others, and I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, y'all are hungry. Oh, hold on just a second, shit. And she goes upstairs and comes back a moment later with a small wedge of cheese, about that big. Here y'all go. It's not much, but it'll fill y'all's tiny stomach.
I eat it in one bite.
Oh, well, that always seems to be Phoenix's favorite too. That stinky cheese, he has me put it behind where I cook so that it gets nice and moist and kind of ages it. He likes the taste.
Oh, thanks. That was delicious. All right, well, best get going.
And I wave.
All right,
as I
Shug.
go up the stairs.
Y'all have a good day. Now, if you come back, please don't break in. Y'all just need to ask.
Oh, it was like that when I got here.
All right. So let's cut back. Back to the bar. Have the rest of the three of you come down and woken yet?
Sure.
Okay, great. So yes, you have a large thing of bread there with butter, and Delma is behind the bar.
Yeah, I'll partake in the bread and butter.
Okay. So
Excuse me, I
Okay.
have a letter to send.
You're muted.
oh, there we go. Now we can hear you.
Oh.
Sorry, it was very delayed. It was very delayed
Oh.
on my end.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So as you, Alice, as you say, you have a letter to send. Delma kind of perks up and says, "Oh, y'all got a letter? Well, I could take that for y'all if you need it sent out."
Yes, please. There you go.
Well, here we go. Thank you, y'all. Now, I'll take it with you, but let me see here. But I had a question for y'all. Do you think maybe you could come with me for a moment? I'd like to introduce y'all to my father, who is the mayor of Etrin's Folly. He had some questions for y'all, or well, he might have some questions for y'all. His head's not been the same these last couple of years. He's getting on in the age, but he is still the mayor, so we need to make sure that he's kept abreast of the situation.
Absolutely fine.
Oh, that would be so kind of y'all. Again, he is our mayor and my father, but he's getting on in the years, so he's not fully there no more. But
How Sorry. How is it best to address him when we see him?
That's a good question out of character. This? There we go. His name is Targen, Targen, Targen Fulst. He's my father, but there's no need for honorifics or nothing. He's just the mayor of 30-something farmers.
Fantastic. I didn't want to cause any offense. It's not great on a first impression.
I appreciate y'all. That's mighty kind. But it doesn't look like... I think y'all are the only ones here staying at the feed mill. The rest of y'all's caravan was staying with the wagons. So if you don't mind, I think I could close up just for a moment and show you around where he's at.
I'm happy with that if everybody else is.
Okay. All right. So Dilma says y'all are free to take that there loaf of bread with y'all if you want. And as you're leaving, she kind of locks up the front door of the feed mill and puts a small sign up that says closed temporarily due to official law business. And she starts to walk you over to the western side of town. It's a bit of a walk, but you notice that as you're walking, the houses seem to become less abandoned, nicer homes, more sturdy homes. When she gets to one in particular that is a 2-story, made of wood, freshly painted, quite a nice home, at least for the area. Not a mansion by any stretch of the imagination, but in comparison to the rest of Etrin's Folly, this is quite a nice home. She goes in, and she comes up to the front gate and says, "Well, now, he's a little older, but I'll go get him. Y'all just stay here one moment." And she walks inside. A few moments later, comes out wheeling a man in a wheelchair in front of her with graying hair, who is balding, and that should have popped up for all of you. This old human man who's balding, slicked back gray hair, wearing a dark purple robe, sitting in his wheelchair. His hands are crossed in his lap, and he looks up to you and says, the newcomers, are you? I see. Come with Bort. Terrible thing that happened to Bort. Oh, but where are my manners? My name is... My name is Targen Fulst, mayor of Etrin's Folly. Pleased to meet you. And who are... And he's looking to, kind of back and forth to each of you. Thank you.
This is Abe, our speaker till now, but now he's not talking. I'm Ugly Alice. This is...
Oh, my dear. You're not that ugly. These eyes may be milky and clouded, but you're still a delight to me.
Oh, thank you. I know I'm pretty. They're just jealous. But that's fine. I wear it as a badge of honor now. This is Rex. Whatever his last name, I can't remember. And this is Con. And this is Dirk.
Good day and praise to all of you. How great to have you in Etrin's Folly. But please, let me show you around town.
And he looks over to Durg and says,
Durg, is it? Yes? If you would not mind, could you push an old man? I can... These days, it's hard for me to take 10 steps on my own legs.
Is he in like a wheelchair?
Yes, he's in a wheelchair.
Okay, Dirk will just push it then.
Cool. So Delma looks to all of you and says, well, he's a pretty good storyteller, and he knows pretty much everything there is to know about this town, so if you could just walk him around a little, talk to him, tell him about what's going on, maybe he can tell y'all some things, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it, and I could add another week to y'all's tab on top of what Bort paid for, if need be. I know Rolf said we got to wait for Mr. Cranberry to come in at the end of the month.
A week's board, just to hear some stories and talk to your father. I have got no problem with that whatsoever.
Oh, thank y'all so much. It's just hard to take time out of the feed mill in order to get him out into the sunshine. But I do appreciate it. Now, I'm going to head back to the feed mill. I can't keep it closed for too long, you see. Now, you be good, Daddy. You tell him some good stories. And she gives him a kiss on the bald patch of his head and heads back towards the feed mill.
That's pretty endearing. I love it.
So as you begin to push him around, the only road back is the way you came. So as you're going back, he's beginning to talk about how Atrin's Folly back before the plague was such a wonderful town. We was hustling, bustling. We had buskers on the street playing for coin. The best music and bards the world has seen up to this point. But Flonk, our local entertainer, he's a good man. He puts on a show for us when he can. But the feed mill, yes, my pride and joy. I opened this when I was but a young lad. It has brought much pleasure to me and the folks of this town, and brought quite a bit of decent coin from passing travelers. Now, my family was quite lucky when during the wars with the goblins, and at that he eyes Rex suspiciously, like your uncle at Thanksgiving, you know?
Yeah. I just look at him as he looks at me.
Yes, during the Goblin Wars, most of this town suffered, but my family, thankfully, managed to rise mostly unscathed, which gave me enough capital to build the fine tavern, the feed mill here, and make a good way for myself. Well, now here, this is an interesting thing, he says as you get to the southern portion of town, which is where the actual plague stone is. This here we call the plague stone. This was put here many years back, but during the plagues of 20 years ago, the poor needed alms, so we would place coins within the plague stone here in this divot. And he reaches up into the stone and where the basin is. He kind of brushes it with his hand, and he kind of goes silent for a moment, just looking at the stone, thinking. And then he snaps back, says, "My dear, where was I? Well, yes, we would put vinegar in this bowl to clean off the coins so that no one could get sick from one another. We had to separate the townspeople, but we don't like talking about such horrible things these days. It's been 20 years, and we defeated that fairly well."
How?
Well, we had to keep ourselves separate, you see, quarantining the sick from the healthy. That way we didn't cross anyone in particular. Now, we weren't able to ever find the source of the plague. These things tend to be mysterious and random, but well, we did survive. Our small town did. It's broken and not what it was, but we survive. We make do.
So if the plague was to, I don't know, come back, that'd be bad, right?
Oh, dear me. Don't even speak of such things. If the plague came back, I don't believe our town would survive. We are a small community of maybe 30 farmers, and then there's the employees of the feed mill, the apothecary, and myself. Very few people here. I do not have the strength to live through such a disease myself.
At this point, Abe is going to use message to Rex and say, "Don't tell him about the wolves."
Okay, I won't tell him about the wolves.
And he says,
did I say
"What
that
about
out loud?
the wolves?"
Fuck.
And he kind of looks around at the rest of you and says,
Goblins, they say the damnedest things, don't they?
Don't they just?
he's
Well,
laughing.
people
He clearly
say-
thinks he's hilarious, but it was very clearly a racist remark. He's like, "Oh, goblins, they steal, ha ha!" That kind of thing.
Well,
So when you're
people,
walking
they die in
around-
their sleep sometimes. Ah.
Big yikes. Yep, there it is. There's the cough.
That was canon. That was great. Okay. So as you're walking around, you start to see more and more abandoned homes. Crumbled roofs, smashed in windows, boarded up doors. The majority of the homes on this side of town near the Plague Stone are in terrible state of disrepair. Falling apart. It looks like anyone could squat here. And Targan notes that anyone with anyone with a bunch of coin lives over on the west side of town. So you keep walking, and he says, "Now take me over to the east, and I'll show you the old shepherd's path.
Ah, yes. Before the plague, we were known for our sheep here. This was mutton country in Etrin's Folly. These days, we can pretty much only farm up turnips, as you may have noticed from the fair at the feed mill. But this was a wonderful path here.
And he takes you down. It's a nice footpath that's in a very pretty meadow covered in grass. And, it's one of the healthiest looking natural locations you've seen.
But the flock has left here some time ago. We've not seen hide nor hair of a sheep in at least 10 years.
So the path leads to an old shrine.
He says, yes, this here. If you two see that large tree there, go, yes, okay.
Then, at this point, I'm going to pop up a map. Do you all see that?
It's loading in still, but yeah.
Okay, so it's loading. All right, fantastic. Okay. So let me grab y'all, put you on the map. I think Durg's out front, right? Because you're pushing the old man.
Makes sense.
All right. So if you want, you can rearrange yourselves however you'd like. And so, yes, you come into it's a nice path surrounded by trees on both sides, neither of which look particularly healthy nor particularly sick. These are a little nicer than the trees at the orchard. But you do see that there is a large tree, like a corpse of a dead tree, in just off the path to the north.
Can I investigate the tree and see if I can
yes.
how it died?
Yeah, sure.
Any signs of obvious damage, magical or otherwise, I suppose, or disease or whatever.
Okay, so do you want to place yourself over there, or where do you check it out from?
As close as I can get to it, I suppose. Whereabouts did you say it was? Off the path?
Just off the path, a little bit to the west. Yeah, northwest, like, yeah. There-ish, yes. Boom, perfect. So, what do the rest of you do as Abe is doing this? Abe, do you just kind of run off, split from the group, or?
I think I would. My intention would be to wait until we naturally get there, and then just split off from the group. Sure. I'm not just going to bolt
so let's go all right. So let's go like this. How about? Does that look good? Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I
look
with him and help him and pretty much give him the help action?
Yes.
Or
sure.
guidance or both?
So yes. You can do both. So go ahead, Alice. Give me your check, your perception, I guess, in the dice tower.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where my chat window went. That's weird. Oh, there it is. Okay, that you do not succeed in aiding, but Abe, if you want to give me a perception check, you may. But you can also give him guidance. So Abe, give yourself a +1.
Right, there's incoming.
There we go.
Modify.
All right, Abe, you see that there's a little bit of a shrine inside this tree. It's about this big. It's a small carved statue that looks like a sick person who's kind of leaning over and shriveled. It's pretty obvious the old man calls out to you from his wheelchair. He says, the shrine. We placed that there during the plague. That was for the poor and the plagued. They would come here to worship, and they would hopefully get the blessings of whichever deity they preferred. This is very much an open type of worship center, if you will. And as he says that, everyone give me a perception check in the dice power, please. Oh my. Everyone except Alice begins to hear coming from the trees to your south, north, east, and west. Roll initiative.
More bees?
They appear to be significantly larger than bees. What you are seeing are winged creatures about the size of dogs that are sitting in these trees and begin flapping their wings. And all of you seeing that, the old man begins to go, Bloodseekers! Bloodseekers! Don't let them near me! And so then I need to roll initiative myself.
No shit, old man. I thought I was gonna let them attack you since you're a racist.
It looks like that large swarm is still on the combat tracker. Do you want to remove that?
Oh, I can do that. There it is. Delete. Yes. There we go. Sorry. Why did that not roll separate initiatives for each of them? Does anyone know?
It's probably how it's set up in your settings.
Mm-hmm.
If you open up the settings and scroll down, there is a setting specifically in the combat GM for
Hold up. Client game GM, combat GM? Combat GM?
Yeah, I think
GM.
yeah, so it's auto initiative.
Auto NPC initiative.
Change that from group to individual and it should still roll it for you, but it will roll it so it's not all in the same like that one was.
Combat GM, auto NPC initiative. I see on, group, and off.
Yeah, you want it as on.
As on? Okay, cool. All right, thank you. So let me try that again.
And then if you
that worked. Great, awesome. Okay, so that means Khan, you are the one who sees them first, and you are able to react fastest. So you see whatever you see on the map. Line of sight is built in.
Dirk doesn't have an initiative on my screen. Is it appearing on everybody else's?
He rolled a 1, I think, or something like that.
Oh,
or did
it doesn't look like Dirk rolled. No.
Okay, then Dirk, you need to roll. He might.
You're also muted, Dirk.
He might have stepped away for a moment, or is having technical problems.
Possible.
You can roll initiative for him, DM.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's actually a way for you to roll initiative for all of us, so we don't have to roll. It's up to you if you want to take that away from us. Just like with the rest, it's in the
there he
same
goes.
thing.
There we go.
You can right-click it and then roll the initiative for us in the combat tracker, just like you gave us the rest.
Okay.
Sorry, it just didn't register there. It rolled, but it didn't take it.
Oh, weird. Huh. Okay. Well, we got you up there now. So first up is still Khan.
All right, cool. So how big are these creatures?
About the size of dogs. They're like, yay. For essentially mosquitoes, they're huge. But they're not like mechanically huge. They're mechanically tiny.
And they're still like buzz 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 flying in the air, right?
Yeah, they're coming. They're lifting up off their tree branches, and you can tell they're about to go in.
Wish I could be in melee range.
You could be.
I would like to be very much.
You could climb a tree. You did really well last time.
So I can use one action for movement.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I need to turn that off at some point. Oh, you don't want to be right on top,
right.
Or unless you want to be under them, under the tree.
I want to be in stabbing range. That's my whole deal.
Let's just put you there then. Is that okay?
Yeah,
or you can be.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, great. So they are a bit up above you in the tree. You could take one action to attempt to climb it, and then one more to stab.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. Roll me enough. Did I let you do acrobatics last time? I probably shouldn't, but it's fine. Go ahead and do acrobatics. Okay. You managed to climb up this tree pretty readily before it's able to take off. So yeah, you are within stabbing range now.
And then I stab.
Stab. Okay, so just drop your attack right on it.
Oh,
not great. You don't get. It manages to take off from the branch just as you swipe, and you just barely miss it. All right. Abe, you are up.
Okay.
You perceive that there are 3 of these things pretty close to you.
Yeah, indeed. Abe's going to look at the one to the east, Tiny Animal 2, and fire 3 magic missiles straight at its face.
Oh, okay. Which one? 3?
Number 2. I think I've targeted it now, yeah.
Okay, yes.
The one to my right.
Yep, I see it.
Let me just go ahead and roll that damage. So it auto hits.
Yep.
So it's just going to be 3d4 plus 3. So just bear with me.
Good lord. Okay. Yep. You
plus 2 on top of that because that was all 1. It was plus 1.
Oh, yep. You're right because it gets +1 for each dart, doesn't it?
Of course. Yes, it does. So it's a d4 plus 1 per hit.
So let me fix that. So that's number 2. So where is this? So that. All right, got it. That is. Let me see here. 1 second. I need to look up. Why is that not?
Ignore that in the chat. I was just taking off my spell.
Oh, sure. I'm just trying to find where they're. There we go. Okay. So that's this one. Bam. Okay. So, having shot all of those 3 missiles, this thing falls to the ground a burning husk. Good job. You took that one out.
Boom. That was all 3 actions, so I can do nothing else.
That's it, Dirk. You up?
All right.
You've got this old man in a wheelchair in front of you, starting to freak out, talking about blood seekers. And there's one near you that is up in a tree next to Khan, and 2 more to your north that are about to fly up off of their trees.
Okay. I think Connie's got the one behind me. I'm gonna let's run forward and try to uppercut this first one.
Okay. All right. So, are you doing a regular attack or a flurry?
Let's do a flurry. Why not?
Cool. That's a definite hit. Okay.
All right, and second one.
Yikes. Okay, that's was that at your first? Yes, it was. Cool. So both of those hit. So go ahead and roll damage twice. That's gonna hurt.
It wasn't a mountain stance though, so it's only d6s.
Okay, well that's better. So that was at number 1. Yeah, you punch this thing and break its proboscis, and it falls to the ground. Deed. Dang, you guys are taking quick work of these things. Okay, you have 1 action left, I think. Yeah, Dirk Splat, exactly. You punch it against the tree.
And then third action, we'll move forward.
Okay, that is your turn. So it is now Bloodseeker 1's turn, which is this one that's next to Khan. And Khan, seeing that you are in melee range and you're the one that just attacked it, it is going to go ahead and swipe at you with its barbed legs. So, see if this works. Nope, it completely misses you with its first attack. It is going to attempt again. So I get a -5 on that. No, not 0.5, -5. And then an attack on Khan. Misses again. Seeing that it can't quite get a purchase on you, it's going to fly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 over to here. And that is its turn. Alice, you're up.
I'm going to look at the Bloodseeker free, squint at it, look at it very intensely, try to focus my eyes, and daze it.
Okay. That is a critical failure. Your eyes are kind of spinning. The right one is spinning in its socket. You're not quite able to get that focus on the Bloodseeker that you were hoping for. I think you still have 1 action.
Yes, and I'm gonna use the remaining action.
Oh, wait.
Critical failure is good for her.
Oh, yes, it critically failed. I apologize. That's the exact opposite. That's the exact opposite. My bad. Yes. So that's the good one. That's the good thing. Yes, it critically failed, so it is stunned. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank
And
you.
it takes damage equal to my spellcasting ability modifier, which is 4.
Okay, just 4, nothing else,
That's
and
it.
that's to number 3. So it has this many 4 wounds. Okay, cool. I think that means you still have 1 action, right? Or is that a 1 action cast?
No, this is a 2-action cast, and I think
Okay.
they take the damage regardless. I'm not sure how it works, but
I think that's right. I think they take the damage if they fail or crit fail, and if they crit fail, they're dazed or whatever.
yeah. And I'm gonna use the remaining action to guidance. God, who do I guidance? I'm gonna roll d4 to see who I guidance.
Me, I'm up next.
Okay, I'm gonna guidance you then. Shoot it, Rex.
All right, so that's your turn. We are up to Bloodseeker 4. Seeing that Durg smash, this thing, it's going to attack you. Take a swipe with its barbed legs, and a 16 hits. Fantastic. Okay, so that's where's the damage? How do I do that? Where is it? Where is it? That's here we go. So Durg, it swipes at you and you only take 1 point of damage, so that is not the worst thing in the world. However, when it does, it takes its barbed legs and snatches them right into your flesh, and as it does, it sticks its proboscis inside of your chest, and it uses its second action to drain blood. So,
Rude.
yes, I was excited for this. So it uses its proboscis to drain blood from the creature it is attached to. So it automatically does 1d4 damage, and it gains temporary hit points equal to the damage done. So Dirk, you take an additional 2 points of damage, and it appears to be getting a little bit fatter as it grows a tiny bit. So that's number 4. So let me do that, or this, I guess. There we go. So that's its second action. Third action, it is going to drain blood again. So you take an additional 3 damage, and it gains an additional 3 temporary hit points. This thing is starting to swell up with blood. And that's its turn. So Bloodseeker 2 is dead, I think. That's 4, that's 3. Yep, it's dead. Bloodseeker 3 is... That doesn't seem right.
I think that one already went because it flew away.
It did, yeah, you're right. So Rex, you're up.
All right. So is this rock thing too big for me to shoot the blood
Yes.
on the other side of? Okay.
It's a tree. It's actually like the corpse of a tree. So it'd be like shitting through a dead tree.
Okay.
Which would be a pretty sweet shot.
Shooting straight through the shrine.
I'm gonna go for the injured one then, I guess.
Okay. Number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Dirk, you are drained 1 until you receive healing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Good thing we got on this team.
I get a +1 for that, I think, because of the bless or the guidance.
Oh, yes. So that would have been, what, a 15 then?
Yeah, I don't think that hits either.
That still misses. Yes, that still misses. Barely, but it misses.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use my second action to reload, and then my next action to attack again.
Okay, go ahead and attack at your first penalty.
Why is it rolling twice?
I'm not sure. That's weird. That's very bizarre.
It's because I'm targeting. It says I'm targeting another one of the ones.
Oh, that makes sense. So let's see.
The one that the 3 is the one that it hit regardless.
Yeah, the one that's for Bloodseeker 3 hits. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, go ahead and roll damage then, because a 20 absolutely hits. 10 damage. All right, you take out Betty. You point it at this thing, and you kind of dead eye with your eye, and you pull back the trigger. You squeeze, and this thing just explodes into a shower of blood and parts. It is very, very dead.
Oh, that's weird. It says it's still heavy.
It shouldn't have been. Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah, you did 10 damage, and it said ignored 8 because it only had 2 hit points. You killed the shit out of it. So, that makes it back to Con.
Well, seeing as my quarry has just been squashed, I'm going to use an action to take out my short... Actually, what's the distance between me and... Oh, it's 35 feet.
Yeah.
I guess I can use 2 actions to close distance.
Yes, absolutely. So, 30 feet. So you're aware.
Oh, wait,
if you're
can I
using
take
2
that back
actions...
real quick?
I was just going to say, if you're going to use 2 actions anyway, you may as well just go there and flank.
Yeah, I was
Dirk.
thinking of using Tumble Through.
Oh, that's fine, yeah. So go ahead and use your acrobatics to do that.
It's acrobatics against your reflex DC.
Okay, so you are looking to beat an 18. Very much.
Hell yeah.
Run up next to the shrine here. You kick off your right foot from the shrine. And leap up into the air. You kick off your left foot off of Dirk's shoulder, and you do a flip over the Bloodseeker and land right behind it.
Nice. And then I'm going to use my third action.
Okay, that's 2 actions.
Yeah, my third action to stab. And since I succeeded on a tumble
Okay, give
through,
yourself a +1 because you are...
the opponent is flat-footed because of my tumble behind skill.
Oh, wow. That
It's
makes them
flat-footed my
flat-footed
next
even
attack.
if you're not flanking? Wow. Okay, well, it's flat-footed anyway because you and Dirk are flanking it. And Gil, after the game, I'll need you to show me how to do the things. Put the enfeebled and shit on them. Flat-footed, that kind of shit. Anyway, for the moment, Con, just give yourself a +1 because it's flat-footed. And then go ahead and attack. Oh, even flat-footed, that is still a miss. So you do this amazing flip, but the rapier just doesn't quite contact. So that is 3 actions. Abe, Mr. Abroster, you're up.
Cool. I guess Abe's going to use 1 action just to step around the tree to about there. So he's just got line of sight on the Bloodseeker. And yeah, he's just going to cast Acid Splash at the thing.
All right.
I was trying to think.
Done you wrong yet.
I was trying to think of a clever quip to say before doing so, but my brain isn't functioning, so we're just going to go with it.
Yeah, this thing is fat, and you can actually start seeing in its abdomen that it's starting to stretch out and get clear, and you can see Dirk's blood inside of it.
Ew, but okay. Rolling to hit.
That is a miss. All right, that's your turn, Abe. Dirk, you are up, and you are flanking this thing with Con. So give yourself a +1 if you choose to attack.
Okay. So Dirk watches everybody do their fancy flourishes, and Dirk just shrugs, grabs onto the Bloodseeker with both hands, and then just body slams it into the rock right next to him.
Love it. Okay. So that's not an attack. That's like a grapple or a shove, isn't it? So I would say roll in athletics. Just throw your athletics in the chat.
Okay. Before I do that, I'm going to enter Mountain Stance as my first ability.
Sure.
And I think I get a +1 to movement with my athletics.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you still get the +1 since a maneuver is technically a strike. So you still get the +1 for flanking.
Okay. I can't add a +1, but we'll just say it.
We'll just say
It's in
yeah.
the modifier at the bottom.
So at the very bottom left where it says modifier, you would just click that number and put a 1. But that's fine. 19 does work, so you are able to do that. So let's go ahead and smash against this rock here. So roll me a d6 plus your strength.
Okay.
So in the modifier, you can give yourself probably a +4, I assume? Damn, okay. So you, Dirg, smash this thing up against a rock. That takes care of those and those. Nope, I need to put that to wounds. There we go. All right, you take this thing, you grab it by the proboscis, and you flip it over and smash it onto the rock beside you. And it seems a little dazed, but it is still very much alive.
Okay, and then with that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, mechanically, I'm going to say you shoved it, you did not grapple it. So the holding it by the proboscis is just thematic, not mechanical.
Gotcha, okay.
Cool. So I'm just mechanically. But thematically, you grabbed it by the proboscis and smashed it against the thing. So I think that means you still have one action left.
Yep, and then for my final action, I'm going to Flurry of Blows it.
Oh, God. Okay, but you are at the... your first attack will be at your first penalty because the maneuver counts as a strike.
Oh, it does? Okay.
It does, yes.
All right, I'll make sure to roll those.
So yeah, your first attack will be at a -5. Your second attack will be at a -10. That is a straight crit miss and also a miss. So you managed to smash it against the rock, but both of your follow-up flurries, it buzzes out of the way. All right, what are you going to say, Joe?
So what would be the negative then of like doing the shove as like say your third attack? Like say
it also receives that. Yeah, okay. It receives the penalties. Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally just like a strike.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
The same negatives regardless.
That's right. Yes, it would have been. The only way it would have been like better is, let's say hypothetically you're trained in unarmed attack, but you're an expert in athletics. Then you would have a higher bonus to the athletics. So yeah, it is. But mathematically, for level 1, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So that's Dirk's turn. So that gives it to Alice, I believe, right? That's number 4? Yes, Alice, you're up.
Ooh, he's in the... Where do I have to move to have line of sight on it?
Just 5... I'd say you could see it from where you're at. Yeah. You just saw Dirk grab it and smash it against this this rock here.
Okay.
Well, he punched the rock a couple times.
Yeah, he punched the rock.
I'm gonna, again, try to look at it, center my eyes, and get to its mosquito mind and hurt it.
Mm-hmm. It succeeds. I think I did it right that time, Rao. It succeeds?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens on a success?
Well, the effects just says that I do the modifier, and it says what happens on critical fail, but it doesn't mention like success or a failure.
So does that mean it takes like half of the damage on a success? I think that's what that means. So go ahead and roll damage, and it should automatically have it if I'm correct.
It's not a roll, it's just my modifier.
Oh, it's just your modifier. Okay, and what's your modifier?
4.
Okay, so since it succeeded, it'll take half. So you can see it's struggling. It's struggling up against this rock, but it is still alive. And you have one more action there, Alice.
Finish it off, Rex! Guidance. Good.
Alright, sweet. Guidance. And so it is now this thing's turn. Yep, it is now the Bloodseeker's turn. It is still technically... oh, that's right. It never disattached from Dirg. That's right. So, being that it is still attached, it's going to use it's going to use an attack action to drain blood from Dirg. Let me see, where is that? That's this. So, Dirg, you take 2 damage. It gains 2 temp. It's going to use its second action to drain again. You take 4 damage. And then it's going to use its third action to fly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that is its turn. Rex, you are up. It is your turn.
As it flies away, I point
and it's
the gun
fat.
over towards
this
it.
Thing is like... Okay. Roll damage. You hit.
And then
you blast it.
And I assume it's still alive since it's still fluttering around. So I'll...
let me actually... Yes, it is. It is barely fluttering, trying to escape. Big and fat. Looks like it's about to pop. It has so much of Dirk's blood inside of it.
So does the guidance work for all my attacks or just the first?
Just the one.
Okay. And then, is it when I choose to use it, or is it just the first attack I use?
It's when you choose to use it.
Okay.
I think. Actually, let me double check on that. Hold up.
It is in 5e. Got no idea about that.
Yeah, it is. You can choose in 5e, but let me look.
And then
That's
guidance
very
is
The
important.
target
for
chooses
attack.
which roll to use the bonus on before.
Okay,
rolling.
yeah, you choose.
Nice.
Well then I'll definitely use it on the second attack. My second
Yeah.
action is to reload, and then my third action is to make a final attack against it.
All right,
I
go
didn't
for it.
add
You
the
got the
modifier.
guidance.
Doesn't
An
matter.
11 still misses. So
Yeah.
11 still misses. That means it's up to Khan. You are up.
Yeah, can I please hit something with my sword?
Shoot her!
You can try.
Right.
You can just barely make it to melee range if you want it. You can use 2 actions to get right up on it. Like,
Come on, Colin, we believe in you.
you can move there if you want to use 2 actions. Just
There's
barely.
not enough for tumble through, right?
No. You would have to use an additional action, which would be your whole turn, and that would be pointless.
Yeah, then I'll just try to stab.
Okay.
You can do it.
You can
Both reliable.
Get it, fucking thing.
Okay. You hit with your rapier. Go ahead and roll damage.
So do rogues get sneak attack in this, or what do they get?
Yes, but only if the thing is flat-footed. So if Khan were able to have done the tumble through, then yes. Or if she were flanking it with someone else, yes. But when she was flanking with Dirk, she missed, so she didn't get the sneak attack.
Right.
However, you take your rapier. Khan, seeing this thing trying to escape, seeing that Rex has missed with all of these shots, begins booking past Dirk, takes out a rapier, takes a mighty leap, flies through the air, stabs through the abdomen of this thing. Give me a reflex save there, Khan. Go ahead and make it public. It's fine.
All right. Flex. Luckily, I'm good at those.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Gonna need to be.
As your sword goes through the abdomen of the Bloodseeker, it pops.
Pew.
Khan, you are now covered head to toe in warm, sticky dirt blood. And combat is over. Congratulations,
Yeah.
you have felled the Bloodseekers.
What's Tiger looking like at this point? Is he just mortified by what he's just witnessed?
He seems scared, but he looks relieved to have all of you around him, and he says, "Oh my goodness me! Your strapping young adventurers managed to take quick work of those Bloodseekers. That was incredible. I haven't seen such action like that since the wars. Please, let's get out of here before more come. They tend to be attracted to the scent of blood, and with oh my dear me, what is your name again? I seem to have forgotten." And he's looking at you, Con.
It's Khan! And she looks so triumphant. She raises up her arms, very excited to have
Just
killed
covered in
someone.
blood.
Covered.
Well, be sure to tell Flonk about Con the Bloody. I'm sure he would be most thrilled to hear of this tale of adventure.
Session 2 and you've got a title. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, level 1, session 2. You got yourself a title, Con the Bloody. There you go.
Let's get out of here before more of them come. They tend to be attackted to the scent of blood, and with Con here covered in my good friend Dirg's innards, I think we should make haste. What do you think?
But wouldn't they be outers?
This one, he comes with jests, soft-spoken but funny as the sun. Please, you're a good man. You're a good man.
and he kind of chucks your shoulder a little bit. But, he's an old, frail man. You barely even feel the pressure.
Durg is currently looking for that wedge of bread that we received when we were leaving town.
Mm-hmm.
He is currently feeling anemic and is hungry.
Yes. So, yes, Dirk, you don't feel great. Mechanically, you're only at about half health. You're actually okay.
Right.
But you are enfeebled until you take until you get some form of healing.
Oh, hey,
So,
Dirk,
yes, you
I got
feel
something
kind of
for
weak.
you.
You don't feel the same, Dirk.
With the healing potion.
Hey,
and I
do you
hold
want
it
some
out.
of your blood back? Can I do a medicine check?
To heal him or yourself?
Yes. To heal him.
Absolutely. Yes, but you need to take 10 minutes to do so for a medicine check. The healing potion or a healing spell is more instant. I'm just letting you know. If you want to wait 10 minutes.
In that?
Yes. Again, it would take 10 minutes to do, but yes. Not 10 additional minutes, but 10 minutes total. But yeah, you can. So go ahead, Alice. You can roll first. You're looking for a DC 20 medicine, and it can be public.
Only 20. That's so easy.
Yeah, aiding is not super easy at level 1. Yeah, you're not super familiar with orc physiology. You are healing Dirk, correct, Con?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Alice, you're not super familiar with orc physiology. You're kind of baffled that he was able to lose this much blood and still be standing. You're kind of tapping out and letting Con do her thing on this one. So, Con, go ahead and roll your medicine check. You're looking for DC 15. Oh, that was so close!
Oh, it was.
Did you see that?
So close.
Did you see that? All right. Now, do you know what just happened?
Critical
What is
fail.
the side?
Yeah, you just critically failed the medicine check on Dirk. So clearly, orc physiology is not exactly in your wheelhouse either, Con. So please roll me 2d8 damage for Dirk.
Tasty.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You're about to have more Dirk blood on you.
Yeah, so just roll 2d8 in the chat, and I'll fix his health. So 7. Okay, so that puts him at...
Want me to add my sneak attack bonus to that?
Dirk, as Con and Alice are trying to patch you up, they accidentally nick one of your veins a little bit, and you start to bleed a little more. You're starting to get kind of lightheaded. But they managed to stop the bleeding, so you're not bleeding out anymore. But they did not help.
Hey, I have this for you, Dirk. I got it. I made it. And I hold it out to him.
And he's handing you a red vial of some kind of liquid. Or the vial is clear, the liquid is red.
Okay. Durg will drink what is given.
Okay, that is whatever the smallest healing potion is. Healing potion. Let me look. I should have had this pulled up.
I don't know if it's 2d4 plus 2. That's what it normally is for D&D, but I don't know if it's different from Pathfinder.
It's 1d8. So yeah, go ahead and roll 1d8 there, Dirk, and I'll give you
Got
back
it.
in hit points.
Yeah, so you can heal back a fraction of what we
4.
took from
Okay,
you.
so that puts you down.
Just a little bit.
That puts you back to 8. So you feel a little better having something in your stomach, and you're still gnawing on that bread. But you don't super feel strong enough to really push this old man much anymore. You need to kind of take a breather.
I feel like the squirrel should push him since she's the one that hurt you more.
That seems fair to me.
I think that seems relatively fair. We weren't able to patch him up, and without patching him up, we can't push an old man like me. What do you say, Miss Bloody?
Sure, why not?
Oh, thank you, dearest.
Just hope that the smell of blood doesn't bother anyone too much.
Oh,
whispered
this
in
old
Eric.
nose went years ago. It won't bother me any. Thank you for your concern.
You've seen what we've dealt with in the last couple of days, yes?
Oh, I've heard some things from Delma. She tells me the goings-on of the town. I heard of the fight at the bar, and poor Bort. He brought so much wealth and happiness to this town. He will be dearly missed.
We're spending some time investigating what happened to him, in the hope that we can get to the bottom of who caused his untimely demise.
Oh, we would be much appreciated if you could get to the bottom of it. My nephew Rolf, he tries his best, but he's not the smartest man, and frankly, something of this nature, a murder, is far beyond his skill. He can stop the local roughs from hurting Finnick or Delma, but frankly, he's not much of a policeman.
DM question.
Yes.
Have we been told up until this point that Rolf is the mayor's nephew?
I don't recall if I've told you that or not. It's not something I was actively hiding, if that helps.
So that makes Delmar and Rolf cousins, which we also haven't been told.
Yes, that is correct. Again, I was not actively hiding that. It may be just something that either hadn't come up or slipped my mind.
Okay, no problem. Cool.
But yes, Rolf is the mayor's nephew, which makes him cousins with Delma. Yes, you are correct.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Very well. So after all of this, the healing, the not so much healing, and then the healing again, with Con the Bloody victoriously pushing the old man back into town, you eventually do come back to the front of the mayor's house. And out front, Delma is actually out front waiting for you near the gates. And she says, well, God, what's the accent for her? Good Lord, so many voices. Oh, thank y'all. Good Lord, what happened to y'all? Looking directly at Con.
There was a minor inconvenience on the road. Bugs that were big. I popped one of them like a balloon.
Don't worry, the blood is just his, and I'll point to Dirk.
What? And Delma
She tried to pop me like balloon necks.
Oh, I think I understand. And she looks to her father.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Oh, goodness. Her father looks it up at her and he says, we were accosted by bloodseekers over the old shrine, but these strapping youngsters, they protected me. There wasn't even a bother. Just look at them. Look how bloody this one is. She popped the damned thing like a balloon. Not realizing that one of you had just said that. But the poor thing was covered in the blood that it had already sucked out of my good friend here. Remind me again, what is your name? Looking at Dirk.
I think he's just absent-mindedly looking at this guy, like kind of shifting back and forth, just out of blood, just doesn't know what's going on anymore.
Well, there's this mountain of an orc. He did more than enough, and all of them together, they saved an old man's life, and frankly showed me the best day I've had in quite a while.
And he looks to all of you with a wide, toothy grin.
I appreciate you took your time out of your day to take an old man around for some sunshine, but if you would please excuse me, I'm quite tired. This is enough adventure for me for probably the rest of my life. But please, you are always welcome here in Etrin's Folly. Con the Bloody, I have a bath in my house. You are welcome to it if you require. But for the rest of you, thank you. Please do try to figure out what happened to old Bort and stay safe. These are dangerous times.
He looks up to Delma and says,
Please take me to my room, Delma.
Then she gets behind the wheelchair and starts to push him through the gates and looks to all of you and says, thanks so much, y'all. I truly appreciate what you've done. I'll definitely extend the room and board for a week past Bort's from what Bort paid for, y'all. And she pushes him and closes the gate and walks into the house.
Bye, you racist old man.
Yeah, bye, you old sack of shit. I'll take a bath in his house and then rob him blind.
Fantastic. All right, I think this is the perfect time to stop because it is 5 till 6. All right, it was like 10 till 6, and if we start anything else, it's going to be like at least another half hour. So I think stopping 10 minutes early is probably pretty ideal. Yeah, you all about that? Fantastic. Wonderful. So you have taken out the 3 Bloodseekers. You found a bunch of more information about the poisoning murder of Bort Bargeth. You are still told that you need to stay in town until the circuit judge Mubbage Cranberry comes through and is able to issue his verdict. However, as Rolf did say, if you're able to find without any shadow of a doubt who the murderer happened to be, that could potentially allow all of you to leave town early. So, you have gathered evidence, you have some suspicions of some certain people in town, but next week we will start up here. You are currently on day 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? You've only slept once?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So at this point, it's later in the afternoon, nearing dusk, by the time you finish with the old man. So think about how you're wanting to be winding down the second day, and we can kick off essentially where we started or where we ended here next week. Correct? We don't have any plans to skip, right?
Hell no.
No,
right,
next
cool.
week we should be good, and then the week after that, though, we will have to skip because we have Jasper's Game Day event happening, but we'll be having events all day that day, so we'll be running other things on this stream, just not this stream, unfortunately.
Fantastic. Anything else any of y'all want to plug before we kick off?
Yeah, always. I'm going to use that to the fullest extent. Sorry, guys. So just let all the watchers know that I'm Homebrew Dice. We make and sell custom color handmade dice with off-the-shelf options for all of your MathRock needs. You can find out more at homebrewdice.co.uk. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, which is at homebrewdice, and facebook.com/homebrewdice. Come and say hi. That's me done.
Thanks.
We have a game tomorrow. I believe it's still on. I don't think it's canceled for any reason, which is a Vampire the Masquerade game. We also have another Vampire the Masquerade game getting started up. I believe it's going to be Saturday. I'm not exactly sure the exact time. But we are going to have another one of those going. It's going to be set in London as well. It's going to be set before the Vampire the Masquerade Friday game. So that's kind of interesting. And then I have a Saturday stream that I'm going to be that I stream every Saturday at noon CST. So that's my homebrew campaign. Monday we'll hopefully get a campaign going again soon. And there's this game, obviously. You can check us out on YouTube at Are You Sure You Want to Do That? And I'll let Mary do her own stuff.
Oh, I'm Mary and I do commissions for character art, for maps, and I have patrons for them. Yeah, that's it.
Definitely go
She also
support.
does character commissions as well. So if you want a character done,
Yeah, all of the character art except for Khan's, I believe. Khan, you did yours yourself, correct? Yeah, all the other 4 character arts for Alice, Rex, Sturg, and Abe were all done by our own Mary, and Khan's art was done by our good friend Eldritch Sugar. I don't know if you do commissions or not, but yeah, she did her own. I think that's all we've got to plug, yeah?
I think so, yeah. So yeah,
Fantastic.
if you like what we do, go follow us on here or follow us on YouTube.
Go subscribe to Eldritch Sugar on YouTube.
Don't forget to smash that like button!
Yeah, Eldritch Sugar has a YouTube as well. I think it's just Eldritch Sugar, correct?
It's all lowercase Eldritch_Sugar.
Cool.
Yeah, I should change that so that it's like easier for people to find. Whatever.
All right. Well, have a great night. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for playing with me. And we will continue the mystery of the murder of Bort Bargeth next Thursday.
Hey. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Have a good one.